It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, I already feel the humidity in the studio, but I'm not going to complain. Considering, I don't know, what, yesterday, I got out of here yesterday, and it felt like it was 50 degrees. I mean, it's just been so abnormally chilly, and we're going to just make a switch all of a sudden.
I mean, when you get up in mid-June and it's in the 40s when you get up in the morning.
Yeah, that's.
Although I've never been a hot, humid weather fan, so I'm going to whine a little bit. I'm not going to complain.
Well, that's
I'm going to whine a little bit.
That's all right. And I do have to say that it is not. If you remember the COVID year, we were getting some nice weather early, and then it got to May. And because now we've been shut down.
Yeah.
If you remember that May to like mid-June was crappy weather. And then all of a sudden it switched, and it was a really nice summer.
I think the switch is being flipped this weekend, it sounds like.
And it does seem that it's right around the same time, mid-June.
Mid to late June.
Maybe that's some sort of a trend if we're looking for one. But I don't remember a spring as bad as this one. And Beth Irons is in this morning as
good morning,
co-host,
good morning. Thank
as
you.
Our the Oneida County Public Health Market person, guru, director of.
Don't get it too excited there.
And so this will help, I would think, for the public market.
Yes, we are starting to see some farmers. They're still struggling a little bit because so much rain. Mostly it's been so much rain, and and the coldness doesn't lend to seeds germinating once they're out in the field and good growth. But I think they're going to be happy just not seeing the rain, seeing sunshine. That's what everything needs right now. Some good sunshine.
Even though I do believe, though, in this last few days where it's been so cloudy, we really haven't gotten the rain. It's just been dismal looking.
Oh, and and the fields are starting to dry out a little bit. I know, we have farmers around where we live in the town of Floyd, and they just got the first cutting of hay done, maybe within the last 2 weeks, which is late.
Because it's terrible that their tractors are going into the fields and they get
stuck
in mud.
And then they're done.
So we should get some relief from all of that. All right, we have a lot to get to here today. Today is Davey has been given the key to the radio station. I don't know if you realize.
Now everybody knows he's awesome.
Yep, he now has the key to the radio station, although he may have had it before.
I didn't get no key to the radio station.
You didn't? Oh, okay. He gets the Les Devon Award tonight from the Utica Boilermaker. And Davey has been one of those behind-the-scenes people when it comes to the Boilermaker year after year. When was your first Boilermaker?
I would say 1998 when I joined. They threw me right into the fire.
And you've done everything from been on the truck.
No, I haven't never been on the truck. Matter of fact, as I told the Boilermaker committee when I went and talked to them, I have never seen the race.
You've always been here.
And last year was my first time ever that I went to the post-race party.
Okay. And will you do that this year?
I'm hoping to.
Okay, good. And then you're also going to be back here, right, for the broadcast end of the Boilermaker.
Unfortunately, my hopes were doomed when they said, "Oh, you'll be able to do remote broadcasts with nobody in the studio." So I'm thinking, "Oh, this is my opportunity to see the Boilermaker this year."
Yeah.
Nope. You know, we both know.
So there was there's this big controversy here where we all remember being told by an engineering staff that we would, with the new equipment in the new studio, that we could literally run everything remotely. So we could be at the Boilermaker and no one in the studio. We could actually operate everything from a remote location.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, I have never, ever in my entire career been able to do that. So that's really cool. And then there was a change in the engineering guard, and all of a sudden we were told, nope, that is impossible. That can't be done. You were never told that. And you remember, others remember it. We all remember hearing that. So
because you were going to,
it was such a big deal for us, right? If somebody says,
sure, being on site, sure,
yes, your car. Listen, your car starting Monday with a new software update is going to be able to run on air. All right, no more gas. You're going to remember that, right? You'll remember that. Be like, I know I was told everything's going to run on air, and so nonetheless. You will be back in the studio, and that's that.
yes.
Okay, but tonight at the beer garden at the FX Met Brewery, you'll be receiving your Les Devon Award. And even though I may not be able to be there in spirit, I will be, and really, really, really congratulate you.
Congratulations, Davey.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Beth.
And really very much earned, because it is those people, and especially with the Boilermaker, it's oftentimes those people with everything behind the scenes that you don't get to see.
That's where the magic happens.
And make all the magic
Especially something that big. I mean, the director's been in here before saying repeatedly, how many thousands of volunteers it takes to make it work.
That number is really big. So, okay, I've got Wayne chatting in here this morning. By the way, Davey, Mets and Yankees seem to be running in unison. Mets had a 4-1 lead, and late in the game they gave up the runs, ended up going with the Braves into extra innings, and they lose the game. On sloppy play.
The Yankees have only scored 4 runs, and that was during the Boston Red Sox series. And they got shut out on Monday night, 1-0. They got shut out last night against Los Angeles.
They have not scored any runs.
They have not scored.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is in the slump. The whole offense is in a slump.
So the problem that the Mets have is we have a couple of injuries in the pitching, and our pitching has been pristine. But in the bullpen and starting pitching, we're having some troubles all of a sudden, and that has been the key for the New York Mets so far this year.
Well, you got a couple reinforcements down in AAA in Syracuse.
They're
with
coming.
Frankie Montas and Shaw Manea. But the Syracuse Mets are also on a 9-game
they're struggling. Well, it's because the Mets are purging them and bringing these players up, and they're doing, some of those great players that were Syracuse Mets are now playing in New York. So that's a good thing. That's what's supposed to happen. Colorado Rockies got 7 home runs between 2nd and 8th innings for a garbage team that was amazing. Listen, the Rockies out of nowhere, they're going nowhere, but out of nowhere, they're starting to be a team that you can run into, and all of a sudden they get good pitching, they get good hitting, and you're in trouble. Also, Wayne says, can you please wish Andrew Derminio a happy birthday today from me and Angelina. So, Wayne, we'll say happy birthday to Andrew. This is the first birthday that Andrew has had that his mother hasn't been here with streamers all over the building and balloons. I mean, I have to duck, even me, have to duck getting in the door with all the streamers and balloons. This morning on the program, we have a lot to get to. And that includes Ryan Schmelz in a few minutes on the latest on the one big beautiful bill. This has been completely, some say even a bit gutted in the U.S. Senate. Tanya Powers, jury deliberations continue in this publicized case, the retrial of Karen Reed. Have you been following that? She is the woman who was the police officer's wife. They were having some issues. At some point, there was some drinking. He ends up dead. And many believe, at least this is part of the defense, is that the police have set her up and told her that she ran over him in the driveway, and she says she didn't, but maybe she did because there's drinking involved. But it looks like the science of all of this shows that it would be almost impossible for her to have done this based on the damage in her car. So who knows? But this is a retrial, and some are thinking that maybe this thing could turn into another mistrial, and it would have to happen all over again. We'll get Jeremy Rosenthal in, the weekly legal segment. We take 3 legal topics, and he tries to make some sense of it all, and that ain't easy these days. Katie Ayelloo, she put out a video, and we'll play a little of the video, and she's very critical of Mayor Mike Galimi over Oneida Square. What did you see on this one, Davey? And she'll be in to talk about it in regards to her latest video. She puts out a lot of videos.
Well, the Rome Sentinel put out an article in their paper last Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
About how Mike wanted to revitalize Oneida Square.
Yeah, she's taking offense to it. I'll let you get your phone, and we'll speak with her a little later on this morning. We'll also talk with Food Bank of Central New York, and Ryan Nobles from NBC will be up. There's so much to get into. And, of course, if you've been watching, we are very, very close to getting fully engaged in this conflict between Israel and Iran. We'll see what happens there. Is this Ryan here, Davey? Okay. And we have Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So this is, the tension when it comes to Israel. I know that's not our topic, but when it comes to Israel and Iran, and now the U.S., some word from the Oval Office that we may be getting involved.
Yeah, I mean, that's talk of that and have some type of involvement, but it seems like they're trying to strike this balance of, let's assist Israel where we can, but and make sure Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. But President Trump has made it very clear he does not want all-out war. So, they're trying to strike that balance right now. I haven't gotten any indication that they're going to, declare war on Iran or anything like that. But
it almost feels like whatever does happen would be, and this was the famous last words, but whatever does happen would be quick. Because Israel is really the upper hand right now. However, in order to take out that underground nuclear facility, the only one that has the technology and the bombs to do that is us. And those are those bombs that drop in and go. I think we saw it during the Gulf War, where it goes underground and then the bomb explodes. That would be us and our involvement.
And that's what the discussion is about. And that's what lawmakers are being asked is, would you approve of giving Israel those weapons if they asked for it? And certainly that is one of the things being discussed. And that's why you said if they're going to take action, it's going to be quick because it would pretty much be Congress would likely approve it, though I think there's some discussion of whether or not Congress needs to approve it.
Yeah, there's always is the case. Yeah.
Yeah, you give it to the president. We give it to Israel, and then they take out the oil refinery. That's essentially the talk that's being going on right now, from what I've heard.
And let's be honest, Israel's involved. We're involved. We're just not. So take that however you will in this world of conflict out there. But the big beautiful bill is in the hands of the U.S. Senate, and that is where this gets tricky all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it's been a interesting last couple hours. Reading 500 pages while focusing on a global conflict, not easy to do. And right now, I think just the talk is still around the same things, but there were some changes to the one big beautiful bill and some things put in there that are quite interesting. That are kind of putting some of these folks on the fence. Take somebody like Josh Hawley. It's very interesting where he is right now because he's somebody who had some serious issues with the fact that they took the provider tax credit down from 5% to 3%. And his concern with that is that that's going to negatively impact rural hospitals and potentially put some of them out of business. And he says that's a major concern. But also in the bill is what's called the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, or RECA, which is a bill that, gives compensation to people who've been impacted by nuclear radiation. And Missouri has been one of the worst hit states by that. This is something that Hawley has been fighting for years, and they've put it in there and given him a chance to finally vote for and get that RECA across the finish line.
So for the first time, though, I do think that Republicans are wondering if before July 4th, that deadline that has been eyed is something that is feasible. It may be, but it's in question now.
Well, it looks like now maybe the narrative's turning from have the Senate get the thing done on July 4th, but pass the thing in its entirety in August. So it looks like they might be considering pushing that deadline back, and that's based off of what we learned J.D. Vance told Republicans yesterday in a closed-door meeting.
Okay. All right. Very interesting times, Ryan Schmelz. It's like your head has to be spinning.
Nonstop.
Just keeping up with all of this. So you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Right, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Let's update the news. 6:34 now at WIBX.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. A Herkimer man was arrested on drug charges after an alleged dumpster diving incident. According to New York State Police, troopers were called to the Steep Ponte Chevrolet for reports of two men going through the dumpster. Police located the two men and learned they both had active warrants from separate police agencies. The men were searched, and police said they found methamphetamine and a pipe on 24-year-old Caleb Horan. Horan was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. He was issued an appearance ticket returnable to town court at a later date. The State Attorney General's office has launched a civil rights investigation into the Oswego County Sheriff's Department. The probe centers on immigration enforcement and moves the sheriff's office conducted with federal immigration officials that some say were racial profiling. Deputies were criticized for pulling over Hispanic drivers for minor violations and handing them over to Border Patrol agents. The sheriff's office says it'll turn over all requested documents. The search is continuing for the remains of a 5-year-old boy who fell into the Genesee River earlier this month. It's been almost 3 weeks since Zaije St. Pierre ended up in the water after climbing a railing on the Andrews Street Bridge while walking with his mother. Boats are still patrolling the river, and Rochester Mayor Malik Evans says the city is committed to recovering the child's body. Officials are asking boaters and fishermen to keep an eye out for any sign of St. Pierre's remains. And General Mills says it's removing artificial colors from all of its U.S. products. The Cheerios maker says it'll remove the colors from its entire portfolio by the end of 2027. Synthetic food dye in cereals and food sold in schools will be removed by next summer. The announcement comes as Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pushes the food industry to move away from using artificial dyes. Heinz also announced Tuesday it's removing synthetic dyes from its products. Your Weather Center forecast is next, and it's brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
More damp weather expected, but there are drier days ahead. And in case you didn't catch it, yes, we could have some big-time heat coming just in time for the first weekend of summer, this coming weekend and into next week. For today, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, 83. Showers and storms tonight, 68. And a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, 83. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, you can feel the humidity, and we will feel it over the next few days as things begin to get hotter. Right now, it is cloudy and 68 degrees at WIBX. If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet. the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Inceras. Log on to their website at incerasflooringoutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Inceras Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, incerasflooringoutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Inceras Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late-arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steven, Irma, and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning, and it is going to be a rather warm one, considering we haven't experienced a lot of warm weather. A little bit, but not much. This year, and we're about to get into some really hot stuff. And actually, it does look like we may, and I don't know if it happens, it's possible we could go through a Saturday and Sunday this weekend without any precipitation.
I know, don't say that too loud.
I know. It's possible. That's all I'm saying. And you would love that on Saturday.
We would.
And then Vernon Downs has a big show coming up, right? And it benefits the food bank. Am I right?
You are correct.
All right.
We'll have Lynn in later this
all right.
8 o'clock.
Are you ready for a little Name That Tune?
It's the Little River Band.
I know. But that's not how Name That
Tune
Tune works.
Name the tune, not name the band.
Okay.
Yeah. We know the band. We all have cheat sheets.
Yes.
Little River Band is the band that is coming, right? So I thought what I would do is play a song, and then you tell me what the title of the song is. You think you can pull this off?
I could try.
You're a pretty good music person when it comes to all of this.
Yes.
Okay, here is one right now. Let's see. This is Little River Band here.
Oh, Reminiscing.
Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong. That's Cool Change. Time for a cool change.
Yeah.
It's time for a cool change.
Should have led with that for you. Okay. Let's see. Apparently, I'm playing this on my HomePod throughout the house at home. My wife's going to love that. I don't know how I'm doing that. I didn't know I could do that remotely.
Oh, she's going to be calling you.
Okay, here's another one. Name the song. Name the song. Let me dig in a little deeper here.
Oh, help.
Apparently my wife just stopped it. This is what's going to go on back and forth. You watch. It'll stop. You know this one right here. Oh, there she goes again. I did not know I could do this remotely for the house. She now has the pillow over her head.
And I love you best.
Cool change.
Okay, that is Lady. Boy, you're acing this. You're really killing this.
Yeah.
All right, I have two that I know you'll get. Are you ready? Here's one.
Reminiscing.
That is Reminiscing. Friday night.
Home, we got down
Oops, she shut it off again. Sorry.
and I was dreaming of the night.
And then one more before I have to. This is one of your favorites. Yeah. Okay, I gotta stop. She's no longer amused.
That'll be you later when there's a suitcase on the front step when you get home.
It will be. Remember their great song "Sleeping on the Porch"? That's one of my favorites. Yeah. So this is the Little River Band Friday night at Vernon Downs.
It's the 50th anniversary of the Little River Band.
I did not know that. That I didn't know.
Can you recount the decades for me, please?
Oh,
sure.
Lord. That is, when you think about that,
the bands,
that's crazy. The Florida Panthers have won their second. Are you surprised?
I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe Edmonton would make this a series. It would go 7. But the Panthers made some mid-season moves, getting Brad Marchand from the Bruins, and congratulations to Florida.
The Florida Panthers dominated Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals last night against the Edmonton Oilers, winning by a score of 5-1.
The fans rise here in Sunrise, Florida. Back to back for the Cats. The Panthers begin to celebrate. Panther perfection. The Florida Panthers win their second consecutive.
There we go.
Wow.
There you have it. Big win for the Florida Panthers. And here we are in the middle of June. It could have gone longer. In the middle of June, and the NHL season has just now come to an end.
And the NBA's plays tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So
it's so
long,
with NBA and NHL, it's unbelievable. They finish in June and then have to report in like August. They get like a month and a half off.
Right.
And they're getting ready to get started all over again. Have you seen the Liquid Death? It's a can, and it's water, and it is, I don't know why they call it Liquid Death.
I was going to say, what marketing person thought that was a good idea?
There's no anything in it in terms of something that would like caffeine or anything. There's not. It's just water, and it's good water. The water tastes really good. I forgot where I was, but they were handing out cans of it, and I tried it. It was very, very good. Now we're hearing Liquid Death sold 10 empty cans of iced tea that were consumed by Ozzy Osbourne. They sold 10 empty cans of iced tea that were drunk by Ozzy Osbourne. The sales pitch was that they contain Ozzy's DNA. They sold them for $450 each, and believe it or not, these sold out immediately. Here is the YouTube ad where they were letting people know, hey, you could buy Ozzy Osbourne's DNA.
There will never be another Ozzy Osbourne unless you have his actual DNA. Introducing infinitely recyclable Ozzy by Liquid Death. These cans have each been drunk by Ozzy himself. And each can contains trace DNA from Ozzy's saliva, as well as his handwritten signature. Once technology and federal law permits, you can replicate Ozzy and enjoy him for hundreds of years into the future. Just imagine if you could bring back early 80s Ozzy. He can mow your lawn, perform at kids' birthday parties, or anything you want.
Get it, Ozzy clone. Yeah.
So get your can of infinitely recyclable Aussie. No, this is not a joke. There's only 10 available. Act now.
I got to say, this is not a joke.
What
and all 10 sold.
For all gullible consumers everywhere.
Yep. That is absolutely
this
true.
This is real. This is
This
real.
is the world we live in today.
This is me tapping out. Then I'm done.
Well, and $450 is not a lot of money, but $450 is a lot of money, right?
For a can of nothing,
an empty can,
and they're I guess we got to give them kudos. They are advising that as soon as it's legal.
That's right.
You can
You'll
replicate him.
Replicate him, but it's
up
not.
Until that, we're asking you not
legal
to.
Yet. Imagine having a dog that was half your old dog and half Aussie.
Oh man, we're opening doors I don't even want to dream about.
Crazy things. There was an alligator lurking around the doorways of a motel in Virginia. A cop radioing it on in, along with a woman staying in the room who insisted on seeing the reptile. Well, the video went viral. Also, another woman in Florida continually pets an alligator's head like it's a dog. What is wrong with these people and animals? You do realize these animals could, in 1 second, bite you.
Yep.
So we saw, we were driving from Ilion on Sunday, on Father's Day, and saw a rather large snapping turtle that was walking across. It looked coming out of a swamp, and it was coming up near the road. That won't be good for the turtle. But let me tell you, do not, if you see a turtle like that, and these turtles can get to be very large up here.
Yep.
Do not say, "Oh, look at the cute turtle," and pick it up.
And try and pet it.
Or try to pet it.
Yep.
Most of these turtles, as they get large, they're going to be snapping turtles. And by the way, a snapping turtle can be small too.
And they know how to snap right out of the egg.
They will take your finger off.
Yes, they will.
And so, do you know that we once had, I forgot on a previous radio show, somebody captured a snapping turtle, and we were able to see like a stick. It would bite the stick right. It would just like a broomstick, bite it right in half.
When I've been part of biological studies down in the Utica Marsh, just not too far from here.
A lot of them down there.
The largest one we saw was almost 20 inches across the top of the shell.
Yeah, they're huge.
And
huge.
They can do some serious damage.
So they have front legs and hind legs, the snapping turtles, and you literally have to grab them from back.
Yep.
From the hind legs.
Because they can reach around
all
very
the way
quickly.
around. Yeah, and snap your bite.
Snap whatever gets in the way.
Anyway, that's a great story here this morning. What else do we? Oh, and VVS. That was big news. VVS had their second vote.
It.
And unfortunately, I think they whittled the budget down a lot.
They said they had to lower the tax increase.
Yeah,
in the one that they revoted.
So that was lowered, and this finally passed. Had it not passed, you would go into some sort of an austerity budget.
Budget.
That would not be necessarily good. There's a new study out that says drinking caffeinated coffee daily is associated with what? This is actually a good story. If you drink, and I hear from my mother all the time, it's like, you're drinking too much espresso. I'm like, without that, you have many risks. So it says that there's a risk A of drinking too much espresso. Risk B of driving off the road because you fell asleep. So which is, you got to weigh the, but this latest study, now just keep in mind, this is a current study. I can almost guarantee you there'll be another study in 2 years that tells you this is bad for you.
Yep.
But the current study out shows that drinking caffeinated coffee daily is now associated with a lower risk of death. So it's good for you.
Well, it's now being promoted as a great source of antioxidants.
Particularly when it comes to heart issues. Drink more black coffee. But it only really works if you drink your coffee black without cream and sugar.
See, I can do without the sugar. I can't do without the cream.
Yeah, I can do without the cream, but having a little like a stevia type, which that
that's
isn't
better,
good for you either, but better than probably
yeah,
sugar.
I mean, I usually use oat milk in mine. So.
Okay. Well, that sounds really healthy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Sounds healthy
But
and probably
straight black
is.
coffee gives me a sour stomach. So.
But they say drink black coffee and caffeinated black coffee, and you will lower your risk of heart disease. Wow. On the line right now is Tanya J. Powers, who's already had her 5th cup of black coffee this morning. Wow.
Actually, I'm on the first, and I am team oat milk, and Splenda is where I line up on this. So I'm apparently going to live forever because
I'm on a oftentimes, although I've been up and down with it, the keto diet, and on keto they have you can have whether it be a coffee or like a double espresso, and a little Splenda if you like. But they prefer none, and a tablespoon or teaspoon of butter in the
for the fat.
In the fat. Okay.
For the fat.
In the coffee.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
And is it good? I've never tried that.
I find that it makes it taste just a little. Really what you're doing is you're adding a little cream, but you're adding fat. You're adding the butter.
Yeah.
And I find that it makes it kind of velvety, a little velvety. So
I don't know. I got a feeling it's kind of an acquired taste, though.
Probably.
Yeah, something you got to get used to.
But
like my husband says with Scotch, it's an acquired taste.
Yes.
I go, once your taste buds are all dead, then it tastes good.
Right. All of a sudden, it's like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, this
Can't
isn't
believe it
bad.
after my 5th. All right, Tanya. So there's something to try, and but they say black caffeinated is good for you. Okay. This is this is a big deal when your kids start talking to you at the dinner table about. Have you heard about that jury trial in Boston where they are setting up the woman? She didn't really kill her husband, but police are involved, and this has been quite a drama going on. And where are we now? I mean, we're in jury deliberations, continuing, right?
Yeah, we're in jury deliberations. They began late last week. This was a month after the trial started. And keep in mind, this is the retrial. This is the second one of these.
Yeah.
So if it feels like we've been hearing about Karen Reed for a long time, we have. It is not your imagination. She is the person who is accused of hitting John O'Keefe, her boyfriend, Boston police officer, outside a house party in suburban Boston in January of 2022, and then leaving him to die in the snow.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what she's accused of, and she's charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, leaving the scene. Those are just some of the charges. There's a laundry list of them. She could. If she's convicted on all of them, on even the most serious one, the second-degree murder, she could end up with life in prison. There are, maximum sentences of quite a few years, like 20 years in a lot of these charges anyway. But her lawyers say that he was bitten by a dog, and then left outside a home in the suburbs of Boston in a conspiracy that was orchestrated by police that included planting evidence against Reed. That's what his lawyers say. Her lawyers.
I understand. I've followed that, and then they say the injuries on his body are that of an animal bite. But why did the police want him dead? I haven't gotten to that point.
I haven't gotten to that point either.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, this is kind of there's been a lot of, and there's been jury questions, by the way. They've asked questions of the judge, who the same judge oversaw the first trial as well, by the way. But they've asked about, the time frame of the charge of operating a motor vehicle under the influence, because there was some testimony that she had, been drinking, and that would have influenced her blood alcohol level. They also asked the judge whether the video clips of interviews that she had done in a documentary were presented at trial, were they evidence? The judge said yes, they were. Like I said, there was I think there was 3 questions. One of them to the jury slip about a guilty verdict or a lesser charge. And there was kind of like what did these things mean exactly? The judge answered all the questions and sent them back and said, basically, you folks have all the evidence. It's only you who decides the facts. In this case, you are the fact finder. So that's a quote from the judge. Basically, she was like, listen, you got to go figure this out.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot of the online sleuths that are all about this, which is a big deal today on YouTube, that they're all saying the judge has been unfair to her. But everybody has their opinion. It's going to be interesting to see. The jury could come back hung again, and which would force another mistrial. Who knows? And then what would they do? I guess retry it again.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean, and then you've got the jurors from the first trial that the defense says came forward and said that the jury was all set to acquit her of 2 charges, but deadlocked on a third. Leading to the mistrial. There has been so much drama. I mean, this was already a pretty drama-filled case to start with, but there's just been more of it from the first trial and then again through the mistrial, and it's been quite something.
All right, interesting stuff. We'll see. Who knows? We could get a verdict even today. We'll see.
We could.
Thank you, Tanya. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right, Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. It's happening in Herkimer County. I don't know if you know, but it's happening in Herkimer County. The food truck frenzy is rolling into Ilion, and it goes on today, as a matter of fact, from 4 till 8 at 39 Pleasant Ave, and enjoy delicious eats, live music, local farmers market goodies, and amazing crafters as well. It's like a midweek something to do, and that's always really cool. So food truck frenzy. It's every Wednesday, and, of course, today, 4 till 8 o'clock, and that is in Ilion on Pleasant Avenue for you to take advantage of. You want me to break, Davey? I could break, if that's what you want. We're in store for some hot weather, and Restaging will have that full forecast coming up. News, of course, is straight ahead here on a Wednesday morning on WIBX.
Why do we say we bring the fun to your backyard? Because at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, that's exactly what we aim to do. And a fiberglass pool can bring years and years of backyard fun. A fiberglass pool from Tucker Backyard is more affordable now than ever. Plus, with durability, low maintenance, and of course, beauty, it's the perfect fit for your backyard. Come visit our unique indoor showroom, including 3 fully functional pools, giving you a full hands-on experience. Or try our new interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save. With Tucker Backyard service and knowledge, now is the time to stop by and learn more about putting the pool of your dreams in your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com. Visit Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Iran's supreme leader speaks out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, saying Israel made a huge mistake and will be punished for it as the attacks continue.
The Israeli warplanes were active last night. The IDF says 50 fighter jets hit the skies and hit some 20 targets in Iran overnight. We just heard from the IDF. Some of the targets included sites that produce raw materials and components for missiles and missile launchers.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv, which Iran targeted again with more missiles.
There were 2 separate attacks that came just after midnight, some 30 separate launches from Iran. The missile defense systems did their sights. There were multiple interceptions in the skies over Tel Aviv last night. Some of the missiles did reach the ground. There was one parking lot that was set on fire.
But no reports yet of casualties. Will the U.S. get involved to help take out Iran's nuclear program, feared to be building weapons? Iran warns that would lead to all-out war in the region.
President Trump says he's not interested in a ceasefire. He wants Iran's unconditional surrender. Trump met with his national security team at the Situation Room in the White House yesterday. Options were presented. It's not clear if any final decisions were made.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. More death in Gaza. Palestinian officials claim an Israeli attack killed at least 51 people as more People were gathered waiting for new food shipments, more than 200 injured. TikTok isn't going away anytime soon. President Trump plans another 90-day extension this week to a deadline set by law for TikTok to cut ties to its Chinese parent company over concerns China manipulates TikTok content and can do surveillance on millions of Americans' TikTok users. Now to Miami. They celebrated last night another championship on ice.
The Panthers go back-to-back. The Stanley Cup will remain here in South Florida.
The call on TNT after the Panthers won the Cup again, beating the Edmonton Oilers again. Florida topped Edmonton 5-1 in Game 6 of the final. America's listening to Fox News.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
The suspect in the Boulder, Colorado terror attack has a preliminary hearing today in federal court. Mohammed Salman is facing numerous attempted murder charges, accused of using a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to attack a group of people out demonstrating in support of the hostages Hamas still holds in Gaza, injuring 15 of them back on June 1st. Also in Colorado,
police releasing video Tuesday showing more suspected TDA gang members brandishing guns and banging wildly on apartment doors.
It is very reminiscent of what we saw before in the city of Aurora. But the difference is we are not going to allow this to gain momentum. We are not going to allow it to gain steam. We are not going to step away from it. We are going to step into it.
Police Chief Todd Chamberlain says the apartments were occupied by Venezuelan migrants who had arrived there just 2 days before. He says 2 suspects seen in surveillance video, both Venezuelans, have been arrested. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
the prosecution closer to wrapping up the case against rapper and music producer Sean Diddy Combs at his federal trial in New York.
The prosecution continued its questioning of a special agent with New York's Southern District U.S. Attorney's Office. Much of it centered on text messages, receipts, and videos that show the freak-off parties prosecutors say indicate a sex trafficking pattern. Defense cross-examination sought to detail through text messages ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura's willingness to participate during freak-off parties. The court itself, after dismissing one juror, is addressing an issue with a gag order violation and a second matter with a juror that has not been specified. Prosecutors do say they expect to rest their case by Friday. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
We'll get a decision today from the Federal Reserve on interest rates. Economists expect no change. President Trump's been calling for a full percentage point reduction. On Wall Street, futures aren't moving much the day after a sell-off. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica. Commercial Drive in Yorkville, 69 degrees, cloudy skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. A lawsuit has been filed in connection with the brutal beating death of an inmate at Midstate Correctional Facility in Marcy. The legal action taken by the estate of 22-year-old Messiah Nantwi claims some corrections officers assaulted him on March 1st, while others stood by while it happened. Some of the officers have already been indicted on murder and manslaughter charges. Nantwi's father wants justice for his son and to make sure no other family experiences a similar tragedy. A tractor-trailer driver sustained minor injuries when his vehicle rolled on I-90 eastbound on Monday. According to New York State Police, the accident happened in Whitestown around 6:30 at night. where the trailer portion of the truck rolled onto its side. Police shut down a portion of the highway, specifically the right lane, for a recovery effort. About 90 minutes later, the trailer was removed and the road reopened. The driver survived and is recovering from minor injuries. Rome police are offering free child car seat installations and safety checks this coming weekend. This Saturday, June 21st, Rome police officers will be at Nicky Doodles on Erie Boulevard West between 2 and 6 p.m. Residents will be able to meet with certified technicians who will check their child's car seats to ensure they're installed correctly and meet all safety standards. The event is open to all families and is free of charge. Free car seats will also be provided to those who qualify for them. Those who'd like more information can call Officer Thomas Riolo at 315-339-7722. And there are now 4 people reportedly getting sick in New Jersey and Minnesota in connection with a salmonella outbreak linked to pistachio cream. Federal officials say 3 people in Minnesota and 1 in New Jersey became ill from March through May, including 1 that had to go to the hospital. The CDC suspects many more have gotten sick because most people are able to recover without medical care. The outbreak is tied to Emek brand pistachio cream. Your WIBX News Time, 7:07. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
More damp weather expected, but there are drier days ahead. And in case you didn't catch it, yes, we could have some big-time heat coming just in time for the first weekend of summer this coming weekend and into next week. For today, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, 83. Showers and storms tonight, 68. And a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, 83. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
69 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 local sports desk. The Panthers celebrating another Stanley Cup trophy. The team took down the Oilers 5-1 in Game 6. Sam Bennett won the Conn Smythe Award given to the playoff MVP. Sam Reinhart scored an eye-popping 4 goals to lead to its second consecutive championship. Edmonton has lost to Florida in the final twice in a row. They haven't hoisted the cup since 1990. The NBA Finals are set to continue tomorrow. The Indiana Pacers playing host to Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 6. The Thunder have won back-to-back games and now lead the best-of-7 series. A win would mean that Oklahoma City has won its first NBA title in team history, but a win by the Pacers could force a Game 7 for Sunday. The Giants appear to be happy with their rookie quarterback. Head coach Brian Daboll said Jackson Dart has done an excellent job in picking up information as the G-men held mandatory minicamp Tuesday. Dart, the 25th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, began the spring working with the third team, but has been with the second team for each of the past 3 open practice sessions, and he's also taken a few first-team reps. The Mets suffering their 4th straight loss, falling to the Braves 5-4 in 10 innings. Juan Soto and Tyrone Taylor each went deep with a solo homer, but New York leading the NL East, continuing a 3-game series tonight. Yankees shut out for a 3rd straight game, fell to the Angels 4-0. Will Warren was tagged with the loss after allowing 3 runs on 6 hits. The Bronx Bombers have now dropped 5 in a row, but yet they still lead the AL East. They look to snap the skid when it continues the series against LA tonight. One Major League legend will be present for this year's All-Star Game on July 15th in Atlanta. Major League Baseball announcing Tuesday Hall of Fame manager Joe Torre will be an honorary coach for the American League. Torre, who led the Yankees to 4 World Series championships, will join Aaron Boone's AL staff alongside Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Voigt. After managing in the majors for 29 seasons, Torre ranks 5th in all-time wins. And the Cheetah, he's not getting a chance to prove he's one of the fastest men on earth this weekend. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was supposed to go up against Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. However, Lyles says due to personal reasons, he and Hill had to cancel their New York City race. Hill won the 100-meter dash in a track meet last week with a time of 10.15 seconds. Lyles' gold in the Paris last summer was a time of 9.79. That's a pretty fast 100-meter dash. Your WIBX News Time, 7:10, 69 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply. but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
On Wednesday's Guy Benson Show, our colleague Lucas Tomlinson on the very latest out of the Middle East, Dr. Abbas Milani of the Hoover Institution on what's happening among the people of Iran inside Iran. Very important factor in all of this. And Congressman Richie Torres, a New York Democrat, will be here. A lot to get to with him. It's a big Wednesday edition of the Guy Benson Show coming up.
Guy Benson, airing at 7, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Looking for an insurance agency that treats you like family? Look no further than WB Payne Insurance, a family-owned and operated agency serving the community for over 65 years. At WB Payne Insurance, they understand that family comes first, and they're here to protect what matters most to you. Whether it's your home, your car, or your business, they've got you covered. WB Payne Insurance. Learn more or get a quote today by visiting WBPayneco.com. WB Payne Insurance, protecting your family like it's their own, with smart solutions to save you money.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
This bumper song, bumper music, is quite interesting because I don't know. It's the only one that really is a real song, and I don't know why we play it. But it's played somewhat often.
It's a good tune.
It's the only one. And somebody said to me the other day, "Why do you keep playing the Along Comes Mary?" And my answer to that is, I don't know. To be honest, it's
Shuffle.
It's here.
Pandora Shuffle.
I just hit it. There are other things here. I don't know why, but this is one that we hit.
In the morning, Keeler in the morning.
That's there. I never even hit that. I don't even hit that one. But the Along Comes Mary, I believe we do it for Wayne out there.
Are you losing control, Bill?
I think I am. I have a long time ago. Some guy in the 315 on the YouTube channel here this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe, because if you do, you'll be notified when we go live. And there'll be a link right there. It's the easiest way to do it. Just look for Keeler live stream on YouTube. Not YouTube TV, on YouTube, but you can play it on your TV. That's the beauty of it. And it's really easy to do. If you can't do it, somebody will walk you through it. Trust me. Anyway, some guy in the 315. This is exactly what's wrong with the legal system, just like the Diddy trial. She probably owes her legal team hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even if she does, even if she's not guilty, she never gets her money or her time back. That is true. She won't. However, I think there's probably, well, you know what? We do have a legal expert to bring in on this. Jeremy Rosenthal. Oops, I'm not even ready for him yet. But let me ask you this before we go into the Rosenthal report. Your thoughts on that? Do they work pro bono, Jeremy, you think? I mean, it's a very highly publicized case.
You said that we have a legal expert on the line. I'm just listening.
Yeah, I did say that, yes.
for the legal expert. Okay, this is Karen Reed about pro bono?
Yes.
Criminal cases, you don't get a lot of pro bono. You do have, in these really, really high-profile Innocence Project cases, those guys will a lot of times be pro bono. One of the big loopholes in the legal system is when you are an inmate and you are locked up year after year and you're writing letter after letter to folks about how you're innocent. Those people don't have any money. That does require nonprofit. But when you're on the front end of it, tragically, it does take a lot of resources to kind of get yourself in the position. Or you just have to have a real dedicated, true believer public defender. There's a lot of those around. Yeah.
Well, and this case has become really high profile. And you mentioned too the pro bono when somebody's in jail. We have someone here who was represented by the Innocence Project and ultimately was released from jail when they found out that the DNA evidence didn't match. So
it turned out to be colchicine.
Well, that's another case. That's a whole other case, and that one we still don't know. This is very interesting. I speak with the DA somewhat regularly, and we don't know what's going on yet. This could be, as we speak, it could today be presented to a grand jury, but they're planning to move forward on another trial. Yeah.
All right, bring it. Let's do this. Yeah, I tell people in North Texas the magic of colchicine and its effect on THC products. And nobody here. I'm trying to be like the Johnny Appleseed or Johnny Appleweed of North Texas. Yes,
you have all the info, and I'd never heard of that either, except for apparently it treats gout, right? Colchicine is something that is if you have gout, you would know about it, I guess. If you're a big pot grower, you like your cannabis. You might know about colchicine. So, all right, time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the one and only Rosenthal report. Oh, it ended with an explosion today. That was pretty good. Good. All right, Jeremy. Good morning. Good morning. Let's start. We do 3 topics. Jeremy is if it's legal defense you need, and you're anywhere in the South, particularly in Texas, you must make the phone call to Jeremy Rosenthal. He is the man. And we go with topic number 1. Walmart customer calls the cops on himself after a self-checkout avocado mishap. Okay, this is interesting.
This is hard news. This source for this story, the New York Post got this from Reddit. And they contacted somebody whose name is like his web name, like his. But so this is probably as fake as it gets. But the guy apparently rings up some avocados that were supposed to be $9.99. They were $19.99, and instead of hitting 8 or 9, he hit like I needed 20 or something like that, and then it rings him up for $1,300. And he demands the police. Look, and here's the twist on this that you're not expecting. I'm with him.
Yeah, because if he did that, if the shoe was on the other foot, he walks out, they arrest him. And if you're a little old lady and you don't catch this, no offense to little old ladies, by the way, I don't think you're a little old lady.
Don't be pointing at me.
But this happened to someone who wasn't as
self-aware.
Yes, thank you. They just walk away and they pay it. Interesting.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how's that? If I forget to check something out and I walk out, that could be theft.
Yes.
And when Walmart does it to me, oh, well, we're just a big, nameless, faceless corporation. And by the way, when I check myself out on the self-checkout, I want health insurance for myself. I want dental. I want vision. I'm doing their job for them. This is genius that the fact that they get to sort of do this. And that we do their job for them.
I got to tell you, we have, in fact, every day we do the free money question of the day, and it's sponsored by a good friend and defense attorney here in the area, Joseph Hobeika and Andrew Hobeika, the Hobeika Law Firm. Each day we give somebody a chance to win somewhere between $100 and $500. Anyway, Joe, last year I had a conversation with him about this, and he said, don't use the self-checkout. And sometimes I do, but I'm very careful. But don't use the self-checkout. You are putting yourself in jeopardy. If you make a mistake, they will treat you like you did it on purpose and you're a criminal.
They can. That thing's a mousetrap, okay? Like, I used, there's a Target right by my house. So we do most of our shopping at Target, not Walmart. But the times I've gone to Walmart, the thing screamed at me because I moved something to the other side. It was big and bulky, and I think I was just getting situated to even start checking out, and it was like, ning, 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 ning. We got another one.
Yeah.
But it's all about the loss prevention officer. It's that guy.
Yep.
And he's the one who decides, oh, you're just a moron. And you screwed this up, or no, I know you've done this before.
Yes.
And look, on the Reddit thread, it turned into this. I think this was kind of part of the New York Post story. It turned into this sort of all these tales from the Register. This would be a good. Man, this would be like a good documentary, like tales, because a lot of the employees were talking about how people just spill crap and how it's just cleanup and how people are rude to them. And I get all that. I do. But yes, I've seen multiple cases, plenty of cases. I'm like the lawyers. I will not use the self-checkout if I have another option. Yeah.
Well, and because you're a sitting duck, there's a very good chance that you could really make a mistake. And you're right. If they make the mistake, then sorry, and you may get home and find that you were charged way too much for something, or charged too many times for something that you only bought one of. So this is very interesting, and yes, they're getting free labor. Let's be honest. Yep.
Good for them. They're genius that way. But you know what? Yeah, and this guy went bananas, made a scene, and I don't know. Maybe they dragged him to jail. Maybe none of this happened. It was on Reddit, so whatever.
But it's a good story. Yeah. It's a good one.
Right.
Topic number 2, and leave it to the New York Post. It's a good one. Topic number 2: warrant has reportedly been issued for former NFL star wide receiver Antonio Brown, charging him with attempted murder with a gun following an incident at a boxing event in Miami last month. By the way, a brief addendum to this. He purchased an arena football, I think, team in Albany, and just drained them, took every bit of cash they had, and the thing ended up folding. So he has some not loved in the Capital District here in Albany. Okay, so what is this? And what do you think?
Well, before we go there, is he sort of like Isaiah Thomas? Didn't that guy bankrupt what was it, the CBA?
Yes.
Like real fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
That guy's business acumen. Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Antonio Brown goes to a celebrity boxing event and gets into it with some old-time rival of his, not a football player. This is a question that I have. I'm not a big firearm guy, but apparently he pulled the firearm from a security guard, and I think that would be really hard to do because aren't there most holstering mechanisms sort of designed to prevent somebody from doing that? But
I think so, and just the act of reaching for a gun usually creates a whole thing where it prevents it from actually happening. Where in some way, yeah.
But Antonio Brown still got the fast hands. Apparently,
he got it. Yeah,
he got it. Shot the guy, grazed his neck. They're hitting him with attempted murder. They hit him with a $10,000 bond, which Antonio Brown laughed at because he's had to pay a lot more in bond for some of his other problems. And he's like, yeah, this is nothing.
Yeah.
And he went off. He's actually, I think, in the UAE right now. He went on vacation, and he's not being treated as a fugitive from justice because he was already – the warrant got issued after he left. So he may be – if they have a league out there, he may be playing in that one.
He might be playing in that one. And then topic 3, what we know about the attack on the – 2 Minnesota lawmakers. There's been a lot of talk about this, and boy, what a for everything that this guy did or allegedly did, and how he thought he had figured out the way to pull off the perfect crime. It almost seems as if he forgot about so many other things, like he ended up being an idiot and getting caught. But what do we know about this?
Right. Are you saying that some criminals are impulsive and don't think things through? Is this
that's kind of what
you're going with?
I hate to be I hate to be the guy sitting at home like, oh, I could have done this and nobody would have figured it out. I mean, I totally could have aced this.
You're kind of being judgmental here. Do you realize that? Okay.
I am.
Okay. So he these were pretty terrifying. He's wearing, if you see some of the Ring cameras of him at the door, he's wearing like this James Bond peel the mask off from Scooby-Doo like thing, and he's in police gear, and he's got the police car, and he's got lights, and he's got everything, and he gunned down 4 people, 2 of whom survived. He had a hit list that I've read different accounts. I've read one that's 45 people. I've read one that's 75 people.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. This is political. He had an agenda. He was a big supporter of Donald Trump. I'm sure if you asked the president, he would say no, thank you to this.
Right.
There's no evidence that this guy had any help or any collusion. So we're going to find out a lot more about him, I think, in the coming days. But the state of Minnesota, huge manhunt, the feds already indicting him. A lot of parallels here between him and Luigi Mangione. And Luigi Mangione already facing the death penalty. And I would be surprised if he doesn't face the death penalty too, because when you have such a calculated attack and you're trying to make a broader point or a broader movement, or in the case of Mangione, the claim is that he's inciting terror.
Right.
If you're going to do that, then you're subject to the death penalty. So I don't think it wasn't me is going to work here.
Because you're hearing some of that. That the guy in the mask was skinnier than he was, and the whole. I mean, and then what's he doing out in the field? I realize anybody can go out in the field and kind of duck down in between the corn stalks, but what in the hell are you doing out in the field? And it took an innocent, just a bystander who was walking.
Yeah, just happened to notice.
She's like, I think that looks suspicious, and called her father, and he's like, yes, call police. So, wow. It does, listen, what we should all be focused on, because I said to somebody over the weekend, I'm like, it looks like it was a targeted attack from a Trump supporter specifically against Democrats, and the person who I must say is a staunch Trump supporter said, "Well, that's what they're saying." I really don't believe that he was a Trump supporter, and and then some. Yes, he's probably a liberal, somebody that was posing as a Trump supporter. But at the end of the day, doesn't it scare you that somebody's political ideology, whether it be abortion or Republican versus Democrat, Democrat versus Republican, that they crack to the point where I'm making a list and I'm going to go out and shoot all these people.
Right.
And this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
It's terrifying. And what we have to remember is a couple things. We can't be so result-based that we just ignore right from wrong.
Right.
There are 310 million people in this country, probably more, any one of which is capable of being a nut. And any one of which is capable of having ideology, similar beliefs as us, but we're not bonkers. We're not out there doing things. And so when you're looking at the fringe, it could be anybody with any. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. There are plenty of Dallas Cowboy fans that are miserable, awful, terrible human beings. Not me.
Yes.
Right. Not me. But that rob banks, that hurt children, doesn't mean that they're for whatever reason, the reason why we're Cowboys fans.
That's
maybe
right.
we have
Yes.
something in common.
Yes.
And so just because this person has a political ideology that we don't want to believe that they're capable of it doesn't mean that they're not one of the 310 out of 310 million. You're gonna have somebody way out there
who's on your team, somebody on your team.
Who might share some beliefs with you that have nothing to do with how crazy they are.
That's exactly right. So don't take it personally that he was that. It shouldn't be taken personally. Like, our people don't do that. Well, yeah, they do. There are crazies on both sides, and I think we got to understand that.
And to cap it off, you got to remember this: Donald Trump's the guy who got shot at last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think he sort of gets it, and if he takes sort of personal offense to this. To an elected official getting shot at, I understand that too.
Yes, absolutely right. No doubt. Shot at twice, by the way, last year. All right, there we go. The one and only Jeremy Rosenthal and the Rosenthal Report. All right, thank you, Jeremy. We'll do it again soon. You have a wonderful week.
You too. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. Our favorite out-of-state attorney, Jeremy Rosenthal. All right, I want to get into a little agritourism.
Agritourism, yeah.
Agritourism. But before I do that, I got a break. And then we'll do Habaika's Free Money question this morning. And, Davey, it is worth
$250.
$250. And we'll do that coming up right after news on WIBX.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late-arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Stephen, Irma, and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code DRIVE for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DRIVE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code DRIVE.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. A woman has died following a crash in the town of Salina. According to New York State police, officers were called to factory in Lemoyne Avenue for a reported truck versus motorcycle collision involving 3 individuals. Police said 67-year-old Ricky Belcamino of Syracuse ran a red light and struck a motorcycle driven by 35-year-old Michael Lembo of Syracuse. His passenger, 23-year-old Rebecca Woodcock, was ejected and struck a stopped vehicle. She later died from her injuries at Upstate Hospital. Belcamino was ticketed for failure to obey a traffic control device. 2 individuals at Delmonico's Italian Steakhouse were burned in an incident. Utica Fire Department said that around 4 p.m. Monday, crews were called to the restaurant for a reported fire. Chief Scott Ingersoll later clarified that there was no active fire and that the restaurant wasn't damaged, but 2 employees were injured because a can of cooking spray was left too close to a grill. The canister exploded. The employees have since been treated at Wynn Hospital and will recover. A Guatemalan man was arrested during a traffic stop in Rochester and is likely going to be deported again. Yesterday, 25-year-old Wilson Galavan Lopez pleaded guilty to illegal reentry after initially being deported in May 2023. He was taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement on Whitney Street back in March. Galavan Lopez was sentenced to time served and won't be allowed to return to the United States without permission from the Department of Homeland Security. And a federal judge is ruling against the Trump administration cuts to National Institutes of Health grants. Reagan-appointed Judge William Young declared the cuts illegal and void and ordered many of the grants to be restored. He said the cuts represent racial discrimination and discrimination against America's LGBTQ community. Young added he would be blind not to call it out and that it's his duty to call it out. He said he has never seen government racial discrimination like this. An analysis published in JAMA last month found the Trump administration has terminated nearly $2 billion in grants in less than 40 days. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
More damp weather expected, but there are drier days ahead. And in case you didn't catch it, yes, we could have some big-time heat coming just in time for the first weekend of summer, this coming weekend and into next week. For today, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, 83. Showers and storms tonight, 68. And a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, 83. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, currently we're looking at some clouds and 70 degrees. Okay. Coming up, we'll do... oh, boy, what just happened there?
Take a breath.
Where's my cough switch? Don't I have a cough switch, Davey, where I can hit it and all of a sudden it kills my mic? Sorry. I want to bring, before we do Hope I Gets Free Money question, I want to bring in Alex Harrington, and I'll let you do the introduction. Alex is the communications director, or is in communications?
Yeah, she's got a new title, and I'll have to ask her to clarify that.
What's your new title with Cornell Cooperative Extension, Alex?
My new title is Communications Manager.
Communications Manager. All right.
Which she does an excellent job with.
We could use some of that around here. Oh, boy. Okay. Harvest Oneida County Agritourism Trail. Let's talk about this and give people an idea of what they can take advantage of right now.
Yeah, so Harvest Oneida County is our newly launched agritourism guide in partnership with Oneida County Tourism. This was kind of born out of the idea of bringing the seasonality of the county to the people, the visitors within the county, and celebrating everything we have to offer in Oneida County with agriculture and tourism.
And there's a lot, right? I mean, it's still the number one industry in Oneida County. And now you add Chobani to the mix, and we're like it's number one on steroids.
We're on a whole new level now.
Yeah. So how can people learn about this? Is there a website to follow along and explain what they can do?
Yeah, so we have it on our website. Oneida County Tourism has the Gamify version on their website, and then we have physical copies available at our office in Oriskany, and we are working on distributing the paper copies to the 12 businesses that are within the guide. We were running into a little bit of technology issues, surprisingly, with our printing.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week, second week of June, we're going to have them at all of our businesses.
All right. And so this gives people an opportunity to see what we have to offer here.
Yeah, so we pretty much hit, I want to say, all corners of the county. We have 12 this year. We're always hoping to grow next year and hope this is something we can continue. But it's a great opportunity for families to get out this summer, visit the county, drive in, see different things they might not have seen before. And a lot of it's low cost, low effort. You can get out, you can just drive if you need to get out of your house, get out in the public. And it's family memories. I know with some of these places here, like Swiss Stacks in Verona, I grew up picking berries there with my mom and grandma, and it's something I hope I get to do with my daughter in the next few years.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So, when you're looking for something to do, there's great opportunity out there. Again, go to the tourism website, and you say you'll be up and running with everything by next week.
Yep, hope to by end of next week, we're hoping.
Okay, all right. Good stuff, Alex. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much.
You definitely manage your communication skills well. They picked the right person for the job.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, Alex, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Let's do Habaika's free money question of the day, Davey. It's worth, I don't know, did you hear, Davey? It's worth $250 today. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a good day today. That's why
it's an honor. By the way, if you haven't heard, Davey receives an award from the Boilermaker tonight at the Beer Garden over at the FX Matt Brewery, and we're really excited and happy for you. And you're a behind-the-scenes person since the 90s with the Boilermaker, and they're honoring you tonight. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I joined the pristine names of you, Jim Rondinelli, a few other people, Craig Muter, other people that worked in the media.
Yeah, you definitely have. All right. Caller number what? We'll make it caller number 5. Fifth caller right now. Your chance to win Habaika's free money question of the day, which is worth $250 right now at WIBX. 315-736-0186.
In a world full of impressions, clicks, and empty promises, your trades business needs more than marketing. At Ignite Home Services, we fuel the trades.
If you're grinding every day but stuck on a plateau, Ignite Home Services is your secret lead generation weapon.
We're not just a marketing company. We are the lead generation experts for the trades. HVAC, plumbing, roofing, you name it. We run hundreds of campaigns built to deliver real, measurable growth.
We don't chase clicks, we chase results. Powered by Pipeline Pro, our AI-backed lead tracking system.
Preferred media partners with Service Titan, Roofle, Chirp, and yes, we partner with Google.
We're tech-driven, human-led, ROI obsessed.
So if your residential business is ready to break through the noise, visit igniteinhome.com. That's igniteinhome.com. And let's fuel the trades.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Nobody wants to put a new roof over their head. It's too expensive. And if they can extend the life of that roof and get 5 more years or 10 more years, it's a no-brainer.
What RoofMax does is it helps people in that they don't have to spend that $15,000, $20,000 on a new roof. They can spend pennies on the dollar.
The RoofMax product was a small percentage of cost of replacing a roof.
Call 1-855-RoofMax for a free roof inspection. 855-RoofMax.
WIBX. WIBX. Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, that was an interesting little moment right there. Good morning. Got to squeeze a lot in. I'm hearing, is it Dwayne? Is that you, Dwayne, that's back on the line here? Or is
this is plain old Wayne.
This is Wayne. All right. I tried to explain to Davey that the fifth caller was Dwayne, or was that you? Was it you? Did I answer your call?
No.
Okay, no. Then Dwayne, Davey, is Dwayne D. Wayne. Dwayne was the fifth caller. I had him on hold on line 5. So now Wayne is in. So I don't know where Dwayne is, but we owe Dwayne a chance tomorrow to play the contest. Hello, Wayne.
Wade.
Good morning.
What's up, guys?
All right, you're the guy. We're going with you here this morning, so congratulations. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is worth $250. And you'll have 7 seconds to get your answer in there. Let me stop this. Oh, boy, what a craziness.
How am I going to Google it that fast? How can I Google it?
I don't know.
I've never.
You'll do. You may get this. You may nail this. All right, here is your question. For $250 from the Hobeika law firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, here is the question. Name the company that introduced the first commercially available lithium-ion battery back in 1991. Name the company. Ready, go.
Duracell.
Was it Duracell? Yeah. I would have gone with like Cree or a Wolfspeed, right?
What did you say, Cree or Wolfspeed?
Well, because they had all this electronic
in 1991
stuff. Probably not, because the answer is Sony.
Oh,
it was Sony.
I was going to say Apple.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, because you think about these lithium batteries. They've been in a lot of stuff for a long time, but we're built into computers and built into all. And now, today, we rely on them for everything.
Right.
I've been switching to all battery operated everything too.
Yeah, like even your lawnmowers. I mean, it used to be laughable to have an electric lawnmower. It's like, what are you going to do with that?
Got one. Yeah.
Now they
I like it.
Yeah, they'll cut your arm off. Don't think. Used to be if it was electric, you're like, oh yeah, watch me grab the blade. You do that today, it's gonna sting.
Hey, the Boilermaker Trail is looking like they're gonna get it done in time.
Oh yeah, you always talk about this every year. It's that
it's looking good.
We make the city look good around the Boilermaker, which is it's kind of like having company over. You should have a dinner party at your home at least once a month, because it will force you to clean all the little places that you normally wouldn't worry about. But, company's coming, so we have to dust the globe on the lights or what have you.
We got more of a dummy setup. We kind of set them up to think that Utica looks like the whole trail when there's like dummy walls. It's like, follow the trail. Look how nice it looks.
Yeah.
And Utica's a nice place. The roads are horrible, but Utica's a nice place.
I think we were speaking with the mayor about this, how long it would really take to repair all of the roads in the city of Utica, and the amount of money that it would take.
It was 200 years and $40 trillion.
I think that's kind of it. It's close to that. So, all right, Wayne, I'm going to have you hold on. We'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at Aquavino and Babes and Taylor and the Cook and Cookies and all of that. So stand by. Davey is going to get to you and hook you up here. All right. While she makes her way in, we're talking about Katie Ayelloo. I want to tell you about New York Sash. Is hiring right now experienced professionals to lead crews in window siding and bath installations. Earn $30 to $40 an hour, plus enjoy steady, year-round work with one of Central New York's most trusted home improvement companies. For over 30 years, New York Sash has built a reputation for top-tier craftsmanship and customer satisfaction, and now they're building the team behind that reputation. And they're looking for leaders, maybe just like you. Whether you're a seasoned window or siding installer or a talented carpenter ready to grow, there's more to this than just a job. It is a career path with great pay, full benefits, 401k, paid time off, opportunities for advancement. You get the tools, uniform, and support you need to succeed. So reach out to them online, newyorksash.com/jobs, or stop by their location, 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, to get started. In studio right now is Katie Ayelloo. And Katie, pull that mic nice and close. And good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so explain. There's a whole. I know there's been a story about this. You put out a video. What are you, in a nutshell, telling people in the video?
The whole point is, we hear a lot of different press releases and memos from the mayor.
We're talking about Oneida Square.
This one, my topic's not about Oneida Square, but that's what kind of inspired this particular video after all of these, releases we've heard. And my point is, I just wanted to teach people the language. I am a politician, and I'm listening to one, and I see the red flags, and I go through these 4 points of it's inflating the ordinary of just things like codes and basic city services the city should be doing. There's a lot of stalling, and then there's words. There's just a lot of words and a lot of talk. So I want people to know next time you see these things, it's in theory they could be good things to get excited about.
So the mayor came out and said that we're going to.
The main thing is you need to ask about funding and timelines. That's the whole point, basically.
All right.
If you need to.
So how do you fund it, and what is the timeline?
Yeah, without these actual actionable items, what's the mayor doing? It's just more talk. And that's.
So you think that when he says we're going to just reinvent Oneida Square, you think that's just talk?
So far, yeah. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I asked him, what's the status of the homeless plan? We had a study done, and he said he worked one-on-one with ICANN to get somebody off the streets. And it's great for that person, but that's not a sustainable plan of what we're doing.
So you think the mayor is failing when it comes to homelessness?
I think it's a lot of things. In my video, I brought up turn on the splash pads in the fountains. And I thought this was actually a good example. He comes into my comments to say, you've been a councilwoman for 4 years. You know the schedule. And I think a lot of people, he is very good with words. And I think a lot of people fall for it. And then you think, oh, there's a schedule. I know there's not a schedule. I know the fountains just got back working in 2023. The splash pad started in 2024.
What are the splash pads? So does that pick up the splashing of the fountain?
It's the splash pads for the parks for the kids to play in.
Oh, the splash pads.
And if there is a schedule, why are we waiting till the end?
We
of June
never
to
had
turn them
splash pads when we were kids.
No, well, we had sprinklers.
And
we drank out of the garden hose too. So
that is true. That was not good. We were told.
Well,
all right. So when does all this open?
Well, I don't know what the schedule is because there wasn't one, but the mayor seemed to say there is. And if there is a schedule, I don't think it should be the end of June. We live in Utica, New York.
Yeah.
We only have so many nice days.
Well, we haven't had any yet. This has been quite the year for all of that. When do the pools? They'll be opening soon.
I think that
assuming.
one. I believe they did say June 25th.
School will be out next Friday, I believe. So the last day of school is next Friday.
But, turn on the fountains. The one at City Hall's on. Turn on the downtown one.
Okay.
Get to work.
All right.
That's kind of my point. And we see things like the county brought Murnane Field. Rome's bringing the sports complex. They're getting Chobani. New Hartford actually has a plan for their dogs. Their police officers aren't walking them. We need to be doing more, and
so
I think people need to hold them accountable, and that's the missing piece right now.
Don't you feel that the Harbor Point, that was a big announcement?
It was a huge announcement.
Yeah.
Speaking
is
of
that an accomplishment? I realize it's not all. This is many administrations have put a lot into this, but that's probably a big accomplishment.
Well, then I remember in 2000, to speak on that, the first thing that comes to my mind is in 2023, I was in meetings of we were going to get a $2 million grant from Canal Corps. So there's $2 million extra of projects. The harbor opened, it's exciting, but where's that $2 million going? Why isn't it done yet? So those are things of, I don't know what the actual action is. And I feel like there's a lot of just indifference. And I think it's hard, when you might be one of the only people who is good at getting him in an interview. You ask a direct question, you get a direct answer.
Well, I think that's on him.
We need more of
that's
that.
on him. He answers the questions. So I don't know that it's necessarily my questions are any different, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly what your complaint in a nutshell would be.
I'm just trying to teach people his language. Once you see it, once you hear the runaround, and the lingo and the stalling, you can say, wait. How much is this going to be? When are you going to do it? Where's the money coming from?
Okay. And
Very basic.
So let's look at history. So of those categories, what normally happens when the mayor says something is going to happen?
For this mayor?
Yeah.
It's a lot of talk and a lot of looking at things, a lot of planning stages. And honestly, I don't even have examples of projects I'm mad at because I haven't seen anything done.
Well, can we bring up a sore subject, if we could, is the alleyway.
Sure.
Now, that is right now, if it was a debacle, and let's say that was I don't think I used that exact word, and we disagreed on that, and I apologize if I offended you. I did not mean to offend you in particular. However, I might have called it ugly. I did. But if you look at that, that is a mess right now. I mean, if it was a mess, let's say it wasn't a mess, it is now.
Right.
And there are signs up there saying, be careful, don't walk on this. It almost seems like it's time to fix that once and for all. It's been a while. Would you say that is an example of stalling?
I think that's an example of an easy fix for that, to change and enhance what's there is, you have these massive white walls. Paint them. You're the mayor.
Well, the problem is you have chunks of concrete or plaster or whatever that seems to be, in some cases, boards that have fallen off.
That was way up above. But yeah, it's just a perfect
it seems like
example.
Repair has to be done before it gets painted.
No, not right now.
No.
The repair happened. That was the whole point of doing the alleyway, is that way we were able to get the state to pay for the repair of the walls, which was a great
But
value.
since that was done, there was still boards falling down, and it looks like there's...
At the very, very top there was. Right now, there's not an
at
actual...
the very top, that would be worse.
Even if that's the case.
I would be okay if the board was falling from, like, my height. Be like, oh, it fell on my foot.
Well, you made it sound like we can't actually paint a mural because you're worried that there's, like, patch jobs to do first.
Well, I almost feel like there are pieces of plywood falling from way up that could come down on top of people.
That's not the case, and I really want to just not put that out there because it is safe to go through. But right now, it's, I was hoping we'd seal the ground. I was hoping, I even joked because there was a shopping cart on fire in there.
Yeah.
It burned up the wall. So, okay, let's embrace this burn mark. What are you going to do with it? You could put fire breathing. You could do a bonfire mural. You could do all sorts of stuff to roll with it. But right now, it looks like they literally splashed a bucket of paint on it to cover it up. So now it just looks like a burn mark with a bucket of paint on it. But these are things that we need.
But it is a mess. Right now, it seems to be something that needs to be corrected.
I mean, and you're driving down anywhere. If you're going to work, how many people do you see in tents in different parks and throughout the city? And grass is not cut. And these are just the basics. But also what I'm looking for is this vision and this strategy. And I saw a lot of people get excited about the Oneida Square. And again, that wasn't my whole point. Only about 10% of the district's actually mine. But the only way we're going to get results is if you ask, how much money? Where's it coming from? When are you going to do it? I don't think we're short on ideas, but if we are, I have plenty, and we can go from there.
Okay. All right. So you're looking for, the mayor's going to be on tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You're looking for the mayor to say, Oneida Square, for instance, here's what we're going to do, and here's where I'm going to go for the money, and here's my timeline of how this is all going to work.
And, a lot of times, a big part of my concern is the deflection of putting the responsibility back on the council. They'll say, well, Katie Ayelloo didn't meet with us on this or something. And, I remember during the budget season, I made a 20-page list of every idea possible. Couldn't even get a response back. So I don't think that's, I don't think that's the whole part that's holding us up.
I would ask you this, and because I feel like I'm doing a terrible job in this interview. Like I'm not doing a really good job.
I'm sure.
Because I still have questions. Mm-hmm. So everybody else has to as well. But what if, and I'm not even sure the mayor would agree to this, but what if, because what ends up happening is you'll say a lot of things that I can't confirm or I have no idea if what you say is true or fact. But I would love to have you sitting there and the mayor sitting over there, and we put an hour to this, and then we tackle it all.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Would you do that?
I would love to do that.
Okay.
And I think a big part of, it's no secret, I struggle with how to communicate with our mayor. And if anybody can help us out with that, that'd be genius.
I feel like I could do that. I am the great deal maker. Oh, no, Trump's got that one. Damn it all. I thought I'd own that. Okay, I'm going to see if I can make that happen, okay?
That'd be cool.
All right,
thank you so much for always
Ayelloo.
doing these issues.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Iran warns Israel and the U.S. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Supreme Leader, in a statement today, says Israel made a huge mistake attacking them and will be punished. And if the U.S. joins Israel, Ayatollah Khamenei says it'll undoubtedly result in irreparable damage for America.
Speculation's growing that President Donald Trump might help Israel destroy Iran's nuclear facilities. The Pentagon has also sent more warplanes to the region. Speaking to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, top Iranian diplomat Ali Bahraini warning his country would respond to direct U.S. involvement.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The president's calling on Iran to surrender, but posted on Truth Social, patience is wearing thin. And Israel keeps up the attacks with more strikes today on nuclear and missile facilities.
Our mission is clear: to remove the threat at its source.
Israeli Army spokesman Effie Defrin, as Iran keeps firing back. Those are air raid sirens overnight in Tel Aviv.
People here in central Israel were sent scrambling for the bomb shelters as Iranian missiles flew in. There were two separate attacks just after midnight local time.
That's Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv. He reports most of the 30 missiles were shot down. The ones that got through did not cause any casualties.
Remarkable video from the sky over Jerusalem as an Iranian missile re-enters the atmosphere and burns like a comet. Also, with that missile, no reports of injuries.
There's no curfew anymore in Los Angeles. The mayor lifted it, citing less violence and destruction of the protests against illegal immigration raids. An appeals court has heard a challenge to President Trump's National Guard troop deployment to deal with those protests. They're celebrating another championship in Florida after the Panthers won hockey's Stanley Cup again.
This is why we become parents, to enjoy the best things in life with our children. I love my kids. Go Panthers!
Florida repeated as champs, beating the Edmonton Oilers the second straight year, winning Game 6 last night 5-1. America's listening to Fox News.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
House Republicans already passed what they call the big, beautiful budget bill, and they're keeping a close eye on the Senate version of the legislation that funds President Trump's agenda, from increased border security to extending the 2017 tax cuts. Congressman Mike Lawler is pushing back on the Senate's plan that undoes the increase to the cap on state and local tax deductions to $40,000. He just told Fox Business,
"We need to provide real middle-class tax relief. We negotiated. That's the deal. Stick to the deal."
Lawler says if the Senate refuses to go along with the House on the $40,000 cap, he will vote against the entire bill, which might kill it since it only passed in the House by one vote. And that is not the only contentious issue in that bill.
Missouri's Josh Hawley is one of the GOP senators grappling with the provisions in the massive tax and spending package. Hawley has concerns with changes to provider taxes that he believes could negatively impact rural hospitals.
I've got 35 hospitals, rural hospitals right now that have fewer than 25 beds, and over half of those are currently in the red. So I don't want to see any of those closed.
Meanwhile, Hawley does like that the bill contains an expansion of compensation for people who've been impacted by nuclear radiation, which the senator has been pushing for years. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
President Trump's going to give TikTok more time, again delaying a deadline set by law for TikTok to be shut down unless it cuts ties to its Chinese parent company over security concerns.
Trump says he believes Chinese President Xi Jinping will ultimately approve a deal to divest TikTok's business to the U.S. He signed an order in April to keep TikTok going for 75 days after a potential deal to sell the app to American owners fell through. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt released a statement saying this next extension will last 90 days, which will help ensure that a deal is closed. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after a sell-off. This ahead of the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. No rate cut is expected this time. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Right now, 71 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. A lawsuit has been filed in connection with the brutal beating death of an inmate at Midstate Correctional Facility in Marcy. The legal action taken by the estate of 22-year-old Messiah Nantwi claims some corrections officers assaulted him on March 1st while others stood by as it happened. Some of the officers have already been indicted on murder and manslaughter charges. Nantwi's father wants justice for his son and to make sure no other family experiences a similar tragedy. A Herkimer man was arrested on drug charges after an alleged dumpster diving incident. According to New York State Police, troopers were called to the Steep Ponte Chevrolet for reports of two men going through the dumpster. Police located the two men and learned they both had active warrants from separate police agencies. The men were searched, and police said they found methamphetamine and a pipe on 24-year-old Caleb Horan. He was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance and was issued an appearance ticket returnable to town court at a later date. You could read more about this on WIBX950.com. Two individuals at Delmonico's Italian Steakhouse were burned in an incident. Utica Fire Department said that around 4 p.m. Monday, crews were called to the restaurant for a reported fire. Chief Scott Ingersoll later clarified that there was no active fire and that the restaurant itself wasn't damaged, but two employees were injured because a can of cooking spray was left too close to a grill and the canister exploded. The employees were treated at Wynn Hospital and will recover. And Americans are divided on their opinion of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. A new NBC News Decision Desk poll found that favorable opinions of Kennedy are almost split 50-50 along party lines. A divide is evident, with 82% of Democrats giving Kennedy an unfavorable rating compared with 84% of Republicans who like him. However, nearly 80% of U.S. adults support the use of vaccines, something Kennedy has expressed skepticism about in the past. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
More damp weather expected, but there are drier days ahead. And in case you didn't catch it, yes, we could have some big-time heat coming just in time for the first weekend of summer, this coming weekend and into next week. For today, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, 83. Showers and storms tonight, 68. And a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, 83. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
71 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. The Panthers celebrating another Stanley Cup trophy. The team took down the Oilers 5-1 in Game 6 from Sunrise. Sam Reinhart scored an eye-popping 4 goals to lead Florida to its second consecutive championship. Sam Bennett won the Conn Smythe Award given to the playoff MVP. Meanwhile, Edmonton has lost to Florida in the final twice in a row now, and they haven't hoisted the cup since 1990. The NBA Finals are set to continue tomorrow. The Indiana Pacers playing host to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's Game 6. The Thunder have won back-to-back games, and they lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. A win would mean that OKC wins its first NBA title in team history, but if the Pacers win, it would force a Game 7 for Sunday. The Giants appear to be happy with their rookie quarterback. Head coach Brian Daboll said Jackson Dart has done an excellent job in picking up information as the G-Men held mandatory minicamp on Tuesday. Dart, who was a 25th pick from the 2025 NFL Draft, began the spring working with the third team, but has been with the second team for each of the past 3 open practice sessions. He also has taken a few first-team reps. The Mets suffered their 4th straight loss after falling to the Braves 5-4 in 10 innings. Juan Soto and Tyrone Taylor each went deep with a solo homer. New York still leading the NL East. They continue their 3-game series tonight. Yankees also shut out for a 3rd straight game. They fell to the Angels 4-0. Will Warren tagged with the loss after allowing 3 runs on 6 hits. The Bronx Bombers have now dropped 5 in a row, but they still lead the AL East, and they hope to snap the skid when they continue their series against LA tonight. One Major League legend will be present for this year's All-Star Game on July 15th in Atlanta. Major League Baseball announcing Tuesday that Hall of Famer manager Joe Torre will be an honorary coach for the American League. Torre, who led the Yankees to 4 World Series championships, will join Aaron Boone's AL staff alongside Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Voigt. After managing in the majors for 29 seasons, Torrey ranks the 5th in all-time wins. And the Cheetah will not get a chance to prove he's one of the fastest men on earth this weekend. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was supposed to go up against Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. However, Lyles said due to personal reasons, he and Hill had to cancel their scheduled New York City race. Hill won the 100-meter dash in a track meet last week with a time of 10.15 seconds. Meanwhile, Lyles won the gold in Paris last summer for a time of 9.79 for the 100-meter dash. Your WIBX news time, 8:10, 71 degrees under cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Well, I want to tell you about Sarah's Flooring Outlet's blowout savings on hardwoods. This is a great opportunity to look at some of the beautiful hardwoods they have in stock at Sarah's, and you can get an amazing price on their premier Hallmark Alta Vista oak hardwood, just $3.25 a square foot. Another incredible deal is on Mohawk Radiant oak hardwood, only $3 a square foot, which is 50% savings during the hardwood blowout at Sarah's. The incomparable beauty of white oak hardwood, 50% off, only $2.75 a square foot at Sarah's Flooring. Whatever the flooring, you're going to find the largest selection and the best products. We hardwoods installed, not only purchased from Sarah's, but installed through Sarah's, and it was just the best in craftsmanship. Just beautiful hardwood floors, and now we're dealing with tile. Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and sarahsflooringoutlet.com. Also want to tell you the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor or simply a second opinion, Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, and others all under one roof. Everything from a monthly procedure that I get, which is similar to something you might get from a chiropractor, but far more expensive. And it really opens up everything from the blood flow to your sinuses, works on your back and your shoulders and neck and the whole 9 yards. Lasts about 30 minutes, and it's an osteopathic procedure that can really be a game changer for you. It's the Falcon Clinic. Call today and schedule an appointment. 315-507-4751 is the number. I do have to say, what happened at Delmonico's, I've seen happen online. And I've made the mistake myself.
Ooh.
I think we all kind of make that mistake. So you use...
you forget.
Well, whether it be that Pam... So in this case, they left it close to the
grill.
Close to the grill. So it was a can of aerosol Pam or liquid butter or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Whatever. Olive oil. All that stuff is flammable.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's under pressure.
It's under pressure, and you leave it close to the grill. You're going to potentially get yourself in trouble. Here's the other thing. If you have a hot pan and you spray that on, it can flame up. Yep. It can also go right back and explode the can. So something to think about. Mm-hmm. And that could have been.
Pay attention. It's easy to get distracted when you're cooking, but it's really important to pay attention
because you're trying to get everything done quickly. So just keep that in mind. All right, coming up, Ryan Nobles from NBC. We'll speak with him. Also, the Chief Development Officer of the Food Bank of Central New York will be in. We're talking about the Little River Band. One of Davey's favorites, playing Friday night at Vernon Downs. We'll get to it coming up at WIBX.
The 4th of July sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 with the largest selection in Central New York. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. Hurry.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
Make a difference in your community with the Boilermaker Volunteer Program. Join them in the heart of the action on July 13th. The volunteer portal is now open at boilermaker.com/volunteer. Brought to you by the Fountainhead Group. They have various needs and leadership opportunities available. Sign up today, be part of something amazing, and help make the Boilermaker unforgettable. Lace up your passion for Utica and volunteer at boilermaker.com now.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Thank you, Davey. Thank you, Davey. Thank you, Davey. So, how about the chef, the celebrity chef, Ann Burrell?
I know. What a shock.
Dying, and right now they don't know what happened.
No, right now the only thing they're saying is that they got an emergency call, and there was a, quote, female found unconscious and unresponsive.
Yeah. So, I can't believe, I know she was coming here, Davey, in the fall, right? Was it here or Syracuse?
Syracuse.
Okay, she was coming to
numerous appearances at the New York State Fair.
She has. We should have done more with her. I saw that she died, and I'm like, why didn't we do more?
Missed opportunities.
She's from Casanova.
Yeah.
And
she would have been great at the Turning Stone.
Spent a lot of time in Casanova, too. She came home a lot.
Yeah, well, she got married there.
Yeah.
She came home and got married there.
So that's a big loss. We don't know what happened there. And then mentioning like Pam or some of the aerosol.
Yep.
what do we call that?
Well, there's the
butter or
or you can get like I
and-
use olive oil at home when
the
I'm
olive
putting
oil
something
stuff,
in the
yeah.
oven. I put olive oil down.
That is so. What it tells you on there specifically on the can is do not spray it
Incinerate.
on
on
a hot pan because it can explode the can. Nonetheless, I have to tell you, the other night we had a shrimp cocktail. So because we had some friends over, and then I'm like, all right, well. You kind of, when you don't get rid of it, you don't use all the shrimp after you freeze it. There's a lot of shrimp there, and you know, I like shrimp. So I'm like, I'll grill it. And it kind of, you can use it in salads and stuff like that. And it'll last a little longer if you get that moisture out of it. So now I don't want to go outside to do it because it looks like it's going to rain. So I grilled it inside on our stovetop. And we have the worst overhead
air
fan.
ventilation.
It is the worst. It looks nice, but the thing, I just watch the smoke go up. I turn the thing on high, and I just keep watching the smoke go up. It is the worst. And it also doesn't come out far enough where
to cover the space.
To cover the all the burners. Anyway, so the thing is going off. Well, now the smoke detector is going off. So I'm running back and forth. I got a pillow because you need something to, if I only had a fan, I could have put the fan right up there, aimed it right at it. It would have been perfect, but I didn't have one. And I'm still cooking, and I'm trying to open up the windows and so now the alarm's going off. Now I'm getting text messages from the security company.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of red flags going off there.
Yeah, this is not good. So now I've got 3 things going on at once. So I finally go up and unscrew the
cover.
Now I'm getting another alarm coming that somebody has tampered with one of our alarms. So apparently you can't do that on this security system.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I don't care because it stopped it from. So now I get the place ventilated, and for the most part the smoke is out. I put the alarm back in, and there was no beep. I'm like, did I put it in right?
Did you break it?
Or did I break it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's this little tester here. I'll just push the tester. So it turns out that
you're the kind of customer that those kind of companies have nightmares about.
Yeah. It turns out that isn't a tester. It is a push it because you have a problem button.
Oh.
So now everything goes off in the house. And now I'm getting a phone call. And the woman
Bill,
is like,
stop touching things.
well, should I tell the fire department to not come? I'm like, you've got the fire department coming? Well, yes, this is what we have.
The alarm went off.
Yeah. So now I'm getting calls from people in media that are like, hey, is there a fire in your house? I just came over with a scanner. Yeah, this has been brutal. And the fire department shows. Now I feel guilty because it's screwing up their night, and it's a false alarm.
And your guests show up and say, so are we rescheduling,
We had no
Bill?
guests at this point. We had no guests. It was just me and my wife. But I do want to say that the town of New Hartford has a wonderful fire department, and if you can give to them, please do. Feel free to do it on my behalf. I will be.
You need the brownie points.
Man, and it's just like a comedy of errors. It's like one thing after another, and so apparently you don't hit that button. It goes in. If it doesn't do anything crazy, you're reconnected.
All the stuff at my house like that is under my husband's job responsibilities.
Me too. It's all under me, but apparently I'm still learning. Steve Pawnee Mazda new Mazda sales event is back. They've increased their inventory with over 150 new Mazdas available. And when I say this, you're going to see throughout on the lot, inside the store, just beautiful CX-30s, 5s, 50s, CX-70s, and the 2025 CX-90. And the 2025 design, what they've done outside the vehicle and inside is just incredible. And right now, you can enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazdas. See the dealership for details. And as Rick says, come in, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Also want to tell you, if you're dealing with any of the shoulder or neck pain or, even back pain. It could be caused by your feet. Enter the Good Feet Store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. You can call for an appointment at 315-999-3910 or just walk in. And what they do is you get a free fitting and a test walk. There's no obligation. No appointment is needed. And then they have these made in the USA inserts, 3 different ones, maintainers, strengtheners, and relaxers that work on your arch support and work on the way you walk so that you maintain proper foot alignment through exercise and strengthening. However, this is not, what do you think, exercise. You could literally have them in and be sitting and it's still doing its job. You could be walking around just doing the regular things that you do, and it helps you strengthen the muscles, the tendons, and ligaments of the feet. Check it out. The Good Feet Store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. And in studio right now is Lynn High. Lynn, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to have you in here. Lynn is with, you are the Chief Development Officer at the Food Bank of Central New York.
Correct. And it's been years since I've been down here, so thanks for having me in today.
All changes in here now.
I know.
It's a whole crazy studio, which, by the way, we don't even know how to use. Yeah.
Well, it looks great, though, and I love the clock.
Yeah, isn't that, that's made in Utica. They.
Oh, really? I love it.
They just neon. They do an incredible job. And it's one of the only places, there aren't many left that do real neon the old-fashioned way, and that's...
Oh, yeah, because everyone uses the cheat stuff now.
Yeah, and it's not the same.
No, it's not, because that looks just really great.
Look at that blue. I mean, that blue is such a beautiful, unique blue. They do such a great job. And they repair old neons.
Oh, nice.
So if you have like maybe a Utica Club neon or something that you want repaired. Okay, or maybe a Little River Band neon.
River Band.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Food Bank is partnering with Vernon Downs again this year. We've been doing this since 2011. Vernon Downs shuts down racing for a night. Wow. And I know.
Outdoor venue?
Big.
Outdoor venue. Yeah, the race. So the horse racing, they shut down the horse racing for a night, and they put a stage on the track, and they bring in a band.
That's
and
great.
this year it is Little River Band, so it's Friday night, 8 o'clock show on the track.
That'll be a great. We were playing some of the Little River Band songs earlier to see if Davey would be able to pull them off, and they're all recognizable. They're
yes.
That was a really big band.
It was recognized. You know what? I didn't know when they called me and told me this was the band. I couldn't pull any of the songs, but then when I Googled them, I was like, oh yeah, I know. Yeah. You know, I remember these from when I was little, kind of type thing. You know, my mom or whatever used to listen to them.
Yeah. That makes me feel old.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm the one with the white hair. Well, we both have.
I have white hair too.
Yeah, we're salt and pepper. I'm more salt than pepper, but
I'm in my 40s still though. I just decided.
I found my first gray hair the day I graduated from high school.
Wow.
If you're still in your 40s, then I can see Little River Band was really 70s.
Right.
Mid
Late
70s to early
80s.
80s. Yeah.
So like when I was born.
Okay, right.
See, you didn't have to say that.
Well, I mean, it's true.
She's 10
I was
years
going to be
younger.
like when I graduated from high school and when I went through college.
She's 10 years younger. She's 74 or 74, 75. So
keep going.
76?
76.
Okay.
Wow.
She's a bicentennial baby.
I am a bicentennial baby.
Right.
Okay, so, but you know these songs. These are like, you'll find these on Yacht Rock and, you know, some of that.
Yes.
It's all
and it's great music and it's a great show. And really what it is, it's a benefit to the food bank. So it's a $20 ticket and there's still tickets available. You can buy them on Ticketmaster, but you can go to Vernon Downs. You can get them at their
Get them at the door.
Right at and you can get them right at the door. And it's $20.
It's a great venue because you're out on the lawn,
right.
in the center.
In the center, or you can go up into the grandstand and sit too, depending on what you prefer. And the weather's looking beautiful for Friday night.
I was just going to say that.
But what's so great about this is Vernon donates the full $20 to the food bank.
Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then what's even better is Jeff Garrell, who is the chairman and CEO of American Racing and Entertainment. Then he comes in and donates an additional $20 for every ticket.
Wow.
So he matches 100%.
He matches 100%.
Wow.
And, and then I'm always there before the show as people walk in. People can make their own an additional donation, or they can bring non-perishable food, and I'll take that as well. But we are on track to hopefully raise our goal of $100,000 this year for the food bank.
That's great.
And it's really needed. right now.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yes.
So, all right, it is. You'll get there what time Friday night?
They'll open the doors probably 6:30.
Okay.
Show starts at 8. It is all general admission seating. So depending on if you really want to be up front, be there early.
And by the time you get to Friday, the nights this week are going to start to get warmer. So you're not going to be, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, nights have been chilly.
Yes, they have been.
You will not be dealing with that this
No,
weekend.
I think at daytime it's in the low 80s.
Yeah.
So it should be a beautiful night.
Should be.
Beautiful night.
Beautiful venue, too.
Yeah, it is a beautiful venue. To watch the sunset out at Vernon, it's amazing.
And talk about where all of this ends up going. You're making this budget. Where does it all go?
So everything comes to Food Bank of Central New York. And while we're headquartered in Syracuse, we serve 11 counties. That's what people don't realize. So we're trucks, maybe you see them on the road. We're out in the Mohawk Valley almost every day. And what we're doing is we're taking food from our 108,000 square foot warehouse, and we're getting it to the individual food pantries and soup kitchens that are feeding people where they are.
Yeah.
So it's hungry people. So, we know transportation is an issue, so many issues and that people have for accessing food. So we want to get foods into the communities where people are hungry so they can access that food. And that's what this money is going to help us do. It's going to help us get that healthy, nutritious food and then get it out into the communities.
The only song that they... Go ahead, I'll let you...
Do you still have the Health Bucks program?
The Health Bucks, the CNY Health Bucks.
Yep,
so
the
that'll
CNY
be
Health Bucks.
Yes, that'll be kicking off this summer.
Yep.
And that is where we're getting Health Bucks. So it's like a
Little
low coupon.
Yep.
Especially to like senior centers, low-income senior centers, things like that.
Yep.
So that they can then go to a participating farmer's market.
Yeah, go to their local
and
farmer's
get
market.
fresh produce. And it really is a way to get more fresh produce out into the community while supporting local agriculture.
Exactly.
Which we love. We love that program.
We've had them at the Oneida County Public Market.
Yes.
There's a lot of supplemental nutrition programs out there.
Yes.
But Central New York Health Bucks used to be our summertime program. And
Yes.
That $2 goes a long way.
It really does, because a lot of times there might be like a doubling situation.
Exactly.
And the redemption rate when we distribute those in our communities is very high for that program, so that people really are seeing the value of, it's just a $2 coupon, but that value of the $2 coupon, so they can access that nutritious food. Because we all know when you go to the grocery store, what is so expensive? It's your fresh produce.
Yep.
And that's the stuff we all should be eating more of.
Yep.
And if I have to make decisions with my food budget, I'm not buying fresh produce.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the frozen food aisle.
Right, and
Or
frozen food and
even
the
worse.
most processed food. You think about
the
your
cheaper it is. Yeah,
and unfortunately, that's what it is. And then people will be like, "Well, they don't look hungry." Well, their diet
junk.
is consisting
Exactly.
of all of these ultra processed foods that really are not good for you.
Because you can get a case of ramen noodles for $2, and that's there's not much nutrition in there.
No,
and that's probably
and the sodium.
That's probably one of the better things that they're eating.
Yeah,
because there's just so much junk out there. So
unfortunately.
All right. Don't knock ramen noodles. It is creating the education.
Anyone who's gone to college has lived off of those for at least a weekend.
Those who are educated in America have lived on ramen noodles.
Yep,
so.
that's right.
Okay.
And the little flavor packet.
Good stuff. Friday night, it is...
Friday night, Vernon Downs, a $20 ticket to see the Little River Band, and you're supporting the work of the Food Bank of Central New York.
So your $20 turns into $40.
Turns into $40, and that actually then turns into 120 meals.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
All right. Good job. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Great to see you guys.
Thank you. Little River Band, Friday night at Vernon Downs. Quick break, 8:33 at WIBX.
At Community Memorial, we have one goal: to help you get better. Like better emergency care, our ED in Hamilton now offers the lowest average wait times in the region, a comfortable waiting area, and private patient rooms. There's now better access to orthopedic care from our world-class specialists, the latest advanced robotic technology, and walk-in clinics in New Hartford, Cazenovia, and Hamilton. We now offer quicker access to breast biopsies and colonoscopies because faster is better. And better community care with in-house surgical and rehab teams in Hamilton, urgent care, and 6 regional primary care offices. Plus, get access to better diagnostics with the latest MRI and CT imaging. Better. That's our commitment throughout the entire CMH healthcare system, providing better experiences with better services to support better outcomes. Learn more at communitymemorial.org and get better at CMH in Hamilton.
Wait, I only owe $8? There has to be a catch.
I'm Jen Kita, CEO of Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. That was a real reaction from a recent customer who got $3,000 worth of insulation upgrades through the New York State Comfort Home Program for just $8. And there's no catch. At Standard, we find the best solutions for your home, every possible rebate, and make it fast, simple, and easy. Many rebates aren't income-based. They're based on what your home needs. Start with your free home assessment at standardco.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, listen, if you're thinking about maybe heading south this winter and maybe downsizing here, great opportunities with River Hills Properties. They have now expanded all of upstate New York. We were kind of just talking about that. What is upstate New York? Well, for River Hills Properties, it's all the way down the Mohawk Valley line. It is to south of Route 20, all the way up into the North Country, into the Adirondack Park, and then beyond. It's all really of upstate New York. And now it includes the Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. River Hills Properties can help you down there as well. So for those who want to do both and maybe become that snowbird, especially after the winter we just had, if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. But River Hills has you covered. Bill and Robin Monjo work out of both locations, and there are several agents up and running on the Gulf Coast of southern Florida. Office in Sarasota. So River Hills has you covered. In Barneveld, Little Falls, Utica, Copenhagen to the north, Newport, and the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. A tractor-trailer driver sustained minor injuries when his vehicle rolled on I-90 eastbound on Monday. According to New York State Police, the accident happened in Whitestown around 6:30 at night, where the trailer portion of the truck rolled onto its side. Police shut down a portion of the highway, specifically the right lane, for recovery efforts. About 90 minutes later, the trailer was removed and the road reopened. The driver survived and is recovering from minor injuries. A Utica man was arrested on grand larceny charges. According to Utica police, officers were called to a local bank after a man deposited a check for almost $4,000 and immediately withdrew $1,500 from the account. The bank said it learned the following day the account had insufficient funds, resulting in a monetary loss for the bank. The suspect was able to be identified via surveillance video as 34-year-old Kevin Singleton Lee, who was being held at Oneida County Jail on a separate charge. Singleton Lee was charged with fourth-degree grand larceny. The mayor of Lawrence has been arrested on rape charges. According to New York State Police, 61-year-old Frank Kovacs of Otsego was accused by a victim of coercing, intimidating, and sexually assaulting them in multiple locations when they were a teenager. Kovacs was indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of first-degree rape and 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual act. Both charges are felonies. Kovacs was remanded to Otsego County Jail on $10,000 cash or credit or $100,000 bond. The culinary world is mourning the loss of Cazenovia native and celebrity chef Anne Burrell. The Food Network star was found dead in her New York City home yesterday at the age of 55. Burrell was best known for appearances on hit shows like Iron Chef America and Worst Cooks in America. She also authored 2 best-selling books and was a celebrity ambassador for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Burrell's cause of death hasn't been released. And Cheerios is discontinuing 3 of its new flavors. The 3 flavors are Chocolate Peanut Butter Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios Minis, and Honey Nut Cheerios Medley Oat Crunch. Fans of these flavors are being urged to grab up the remaining stock before they're gone. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
More damp weather expected, but there are drier days ahead. And in case you didn't catch it, yes, we could have some big-time heat coming just in time for the first weekend of summer this coming weekend and into next week. For today, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, 83. Showers and storms tonight, 68. And a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, 83. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we are creeping up. Cloudy skies and 71 currently at WIBX. Couple of comments I want to get in. Are you ready? You know the comments are the best, Beth. Everybody likes you, just for the record.
That's good to know.
Yeah, you're good. Let's see. I have, what about the list? Okay, so on Katie Ayelloo, I have a few comments. Katie says she has a lot of ideas, but only mentioned paint, said Rick in Utica. Sue in Utica, you are right, Bill. That was a horrible interview with Katie. I was so confused, not because of you, but Katie's all over the place with her answers. So bizarre. Lance and Lee, you cut her short. Only 10 minutes with Katie. I have plenty of questions. And he says he's suspicious of Galimi. Thinks he might be a bit of a con man. And Lance says, what about the list of roads to be paved? I really think the list of roads to be paved, boy, that's just like almost impossible to. That is going to take a major.
Well, and that's not a one and done thing either.
No, right? Because every year, what you just paved needs a little more help.
Weather's going to beat them up.
Some comments. I've got a bunch of comments on YouTube. That's always active. If you go to our YouTube channel, that's YouTube, not YouTube TV, but YouTube. Search Keeler live stream, and you can play it on your TV, and there is no charge for that. Absolutely free. Or download us on the WIBX 950 app, also free. Ryan Nobles is next.
Why do people shop at Mattress Express? Our guaranteed lowest price program. Bring in any locally advertised price on a mattress we carry, will beat the price. If within 90 days of purchase you see it advertised for less locally, bring it to our attention. We will refund the difference.
Honey, what is this?
Well, you said you wanted a cocktail, but all of our bottles were pretty low. So I just mixed them all together with ice in the shaker, and voila. I call it the Desperado. What do you think?
Well, you nailed the name. It tastes like desperation in a glass.
No good?
Oh, honey, we need Breamers. Fast.
I really don't want to run out right now.
You don't have to. Anyone can get Breamers delivered right away with DoorDash or Instacart.
Even just one bottle?
Yep, but we live close enough and we want to stock up, so we can order direct at BreamersWineandLiquor.com. Ooh, we can get free delivery with our first order on their mobile app.
So many delivery options. Talk about convenience, huh?
Bremer's Wine and Liquor, Commercial Drive, New Hartford. Delivering the biggest selection, the lowest prices, and the ultimate in convenience.
Okay, try this.
Now that's more like it. What do you call this one?
The Bremer's Breeze, because delivery from Bremer's makes it
a breeze.
Yeah.
Nailed the name again.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
All right, Tim, time for the Father's Day quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, Bill Keeler, I'm ready.
All right, name 3 things you can do for your family on Father's Day. Ready, go.
Wear the ugly tie to dinner.
Wrong.
Tell them I love the zebra striped boxers.
Wrong. Last chance. Here we go.
Actually, listen to my doctor and get tested for cancer so that I can be around next year.
That's the answer we're looking for. Plan to be here for Father's Day next year. Real men get tested for cancer.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, portions of the program brought to you by Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Delmedico. This is the same technology that's used, and by the way, it's huge in Europe, which is where it started. It is used to break up like a kidney stone or something like that. It's
gonna get some experience with them in a couple of weeks.
Okay, and I really believe this works. $99 new patient special with Dr. Timothy Delmedico. Revive Soft Wave Therapy increases blood supply. It actually stimulates and activates stem cells, which helps repair and get rid of the pain that you're dealing with. Call to schedule an appointment, 315-725-8427. The Giants and the Mets, the Lakers, the Cubs, and the list goes on. Professional athletes that utilize Revive Softwave Therapy. With Dr. Timothy Delmedico, 315-725-8427 is the number. On the line right now is the man, Ryan Nobles. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, Bill. Good morning.
So I know that you may have heard it on hold, but Tim Reed and I mean, we do this Real Men Get Tested for Cancer, and we do a campaign on a regular basis. What I find interesting is, and that commercial that you just heard was our Father's Day commercial about, getting the proper testing and screening done so that you get advance notice of cancer and can deal with it before it's too late. So, Ryan, I wanted to tell you, the commercial we did for the Super Bowl won the New York State Broadcast Association award for Best PSA Campaign. Boom.
Wow, congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, well, that is nothing compared to what's really exciting. We used, through AI, I included Governor Hochul in our commercial.
With her permission?
No. Therein lies the problem here, you see. So, but I'm thinking it's a positive. I'll just play a little clip here. Hold on.
Tim, you wanted somebody big for the big game.
Wow, the governor.
Hello, yep. Tim. This is Governor Kathy Hochul.
Boom!
Wait, this is AI. I see the lips.
She's real.
I'm as real as the electric school buses I'm requiring for our local school districts.
See?
I'm as real as when you won the Boilermaker back in '85.
That never happened.
I told her you beat the Kenyans.
We know that isn't true.
Tim, you got me. I'm not real, but cancer is. And early detection can save lives. Real men get tested for cancer.
I mean, Ryan, to have her involved was something special. It was so nice of her.
I feel like that commercial could be used in a college ethics class around AI.
It
could.
You're
right on the edge.
Yeah, I think we're right there. And I mean, listen, we make it very clear it's AI. At least Tim does. And I'm like, it is not. It's real. Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, would you like Kathy Hochul to do your voicemail on your cell phone? Because I can set that up for you.
Sure, you can.
I can make her say anything.
Therein lies the argument for AI.
And so the interesting part is yesterday they're debating this on the floor of the assembly in New York, and they're trying to pass a law that makes all of this illegal to do. So I am taking the step because I think this is a worthy cause. You would agree, Ryan. So I'm taking the step of inviting Kathy Hochul to the award ceremony in Syracuse when it comes up later in the week. So who knows?
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, there might be. Listen,
well, it's interesting that I'm sure you saw Marjorie Taylor Greene really upset because the massive reconciliation package that they're attempting to pass has a provision in it that would prevent states from regulating AI, which would basically not allow New York to pass that law.
That's good. Well, I almost feel like the FCC should do that. That's my belief.
So so basically what the feds don't want is for there to be a piecemeal type of situation where in one state it's heavily regulated and in other states it's the Wild West. They would prefer the federal government take a look at it, make a blanket federal policy. But there are conservatives that don't like that. They believe that states should have the right to do it themselves, which is Marjorie Taylor Greene voted for it, but then that provision afterwards.
And here's this, and it's funny because I was doing my own lobbying yesterday with Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw, saying here's why, just personally from a broadcast standpoint, I don't like it. It's completely unenforceable. You cannot. How are you going to stop a YouTube feed coming into New York, which doesn't allow it, coming from Vermont that does? I mean, it's just. Whereas if you have a federal policy from the FCC, and that would mean the entire country follows these rules. So, but
I still think it'd be incredibly hard to regulate it, even at the federal level, which is part of what the feds are grappling with, is that these the technology advances way faster than the laws can be written.
Yeah.
And the future of artificial intelligence is exciting, but also very scary. And the way it can be regulated is going to really determine if it's an effective tool or if it leads to the end of civilization. It's one or the other.
Well, it really does kind of make you wonder, right? I mean, of all the things that are going on right now in the world, how much of the divide that we have currently has been created by social media or AI, something that has been created by foreign bad actors? I mean, it exists.
Right. And if you talk to, and I'm sure you deal with this in your line of work, but if you talk to digital advertising executives, and if you talk to journalists, people that do what I do, the proliferation of AI and artificial intelligence bots that have just flooded the internet, first of all, have completely screwed up the search engine optimization that a lot of these outfits use to get their message out in a way that is actually effective and reaches the people that they need to reach. And then, it's gotten to the point now, we already had kind of a misinformation problem with the delivery of news, and now you have these AI sites that are basically just, combing the internet for information and then just spitting out things that don't, that are kind of an amalgamation of all these different things that don't necessarily have a narrative and don't tell the whole story.
Right.
And people read them and think they're real. And, at some point there's going to be a consumer responsibility here that can try and decipher it all. But every day the AI models get just a little bit better.
A little more believable.
Like you could, like in your spot there, not that your spot's great, but you could tell that's not Kathy Hochul if you're really listening.
Yeah.
But maybe in 6 months or a year, it'll be indistinguishable. And that it's how you rein this in, how you put that back in the bottle. I don't know if it's possible.
One more thing, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. I love you on NBC. Kathy, out.
Okay, there you go. That's the governor right there, Ryan.
Great.
She dropped the mic after she said that. I don't know if you know that. Okay, anyway. Listen, how can we be laughing when the world is burning? For God's sakes, this is just... I don't know how you keep up and keep track with everything. Let's start with Iran and Israel. And now, I know reported on NBC last night, the president saying we may get involved. We may be bombing Iran.
Yeah, it definitely seems as though he's creeping in that direction. I think he has started to come around to the idea that the intelligence that Israel has about Iran's nuclear capabilities is scary enough for the United States to get involved. I think there's a really raging dispute amongst the intelligence community as to just how valid that intelligence is. I mean, it reads to me as very similar echoes of the ramp up to the Iraq War during the Bush era and weapons of mass destruction, when the intelligence was thought to be unbelievably solid.
Yeah.
And then the United States went in and basically got itself caught in a quagmire, and there were no weapons of mass destruction. I do believe here, though, that this is a pivotal Y in the road for Donald Trump. I don't know how close you've been paying attention to the kind of the MAGA base
yeah.
their feelings about Iran. And there is a very decided split there with some of the most prominent MAGA influencers on the internet, the Tucker Carlsons of the world, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Charlie Kirk.
Well, they're I mean, they're having fights online and on TV shows right now.
Yeah, Steve Bannon, who are desperate to try and convince Trump that this is a bad idea. And what you see emerging in Capitol Hill, and we wrote a story about this on NBCNews.com, is there's this kind of weird horseshoe caucus where you have the hardcore progressive left anti-war faction, the AOCs and Rashida Tlaibs of the world, teaming up with Tom Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Warren Davidson, these hardcore right conservatives who are more isolationists than interventionists, who are they're going to try and get a resolution on the floor to assert Congress's will in this situation. Trump's going to make a move here, and I think he believes it's to try and prevent a nuclear weapon from being established in Iran. But this happens a lot with American foreign policy, where you go in with a very, very specific goal to try and prevent one thing, and then it turns into a massive military conflict that takes decades to get out from underneath. And I think that's what his base is very desperate to see not happen.
What I thought was really intriguing to watch is, first of all, the last couple of weeks the president has had some tough things have happened. What basically at one point Russia laughing at President Trump, saying, we're not going to listen to your orders. And then Israel moving forward, even though the president didn't want them to while he was negotiating, and now he's come around there. This, though, the President Trump saying he does not want to have the Iran get a nuclear missile, nuclear weaponry on his watch. Boy, that is oftentimes you get a lot of rhetoric coming from this president, and sometimes he's really kind of poking Democrats. This seemed like a real statement that came from the heart from Donald Trump.
It did, Bill, but I think whether or not you agree with the policy, and I think this sometimes people get caught up in this, and I think we need to be very specific about this. And he's going to make a decision, and people are going to support it or not support it. But the one thing that is very clear is that this is diametrically opposed to everything that he's run on. In the 10 years that he has been in politics, since he came down that escalator, one of his top 3 policy proposals outside of immigration and things along those lines have been this America First non-interventionist policy. He trashed the Iraq War. He trashed the situation in Afghanistan. He, said he was going to pull America out of Afghanistan. He has been very clear that it is not the responsibility of the United States to fight other people's wars. And in this situation, and listen, the argument can be made that by, taking this out, that it's a long-term, if it's Tehran now, if it's Tel Aviv next, it could be New York next. That's a policy position. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it is diametrically opposed to the Donald Trump doctrine, and it is a big part of why he got elected. The very fervent base of the MAGA movement does not want the U.S. involved in military conflicts abroad. That's one of the big reasons that they have pulled out of support for Ukraine, because they are nervous. The MAGA base is nervous that that's going to end up with American boots on the ground. This is diametrically opposed to that, and you can agree or disagree with it, but it is not what Donald Trump said he was going to do when he became president.
Well, and it's the first time that you've heard a basically an establishment statement come from Donald Trump. I mean, it's
very neocon. It's like it was written by John Bolton or
exactly
Colin Powell.
Right. Yep.
This doesn't sound like it's coming from Stephen Miller or J.D. Vance.
Correct.
It's a very, very different approach.
It really, really is. It's going to be very intriguing to watch, because really Israel does not have the bomb that can take out that underground nuclear facility. We do. So if you
accomplish that goal, you're 100% right, Bill. The only way to accomplish that goal, the United States has to be directly involved. It has to be a United States bomber that leaves from an air base in the United States that flies 30 hours to get there to drop it.
And that's
the only way it gets done.
Yep, I agree. Very interesting to watch. We will be watching along, Ryan. We appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, have a great rest of the week and weekend. Thank you. Ryan Nobles from NBC. You need concrete work or any masonry work, Brink has you covered. Brink Construction. For concrete of old stone walls or driveways, chimney work, cellarway entrances, whatever. If it's masonry and concrete, it's Brink. Call them today, 315-894-3481. It's Brink Construction. Got to go. Beth, thank you. We're back tomorrow morning.
Happy to be here.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Israel made a huge mistake. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is what Iran's Ayatollah is saying today, warning that Israel will be punished. And
Iran's supreme leader sent a message over Iranian TV. He refused President Trump's demand for unconditional surrender and threatened irreparable consequences if the U.S. gets directly involved.
This after Israel attacked Iran again today, hitting nuclear and missile facilities and launchers as President Trump considers joining Israel, destroying Iran's capability to build nuclear weapons. Fox's Mike Tobin also reports from Tel Aviv.
But people here in central Israel were sent running for the bomb shelters in the middle of the night with more Iranian ballistic missile attacks. Two attacks came just after midnight local time. The IDF says that several missiles did get through, resulting in damage but no injury.
And as the president considers helping Israel and Iran, some in Congress believe that he has to wait for their authority.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine insists that Congress must vote. The Constitution mandates that lawmakers decide if the nation goes to war.
How dare we ask people to make the ultimate sacrifice if we don't have the guts to have a debate and decide whether a war is in the interest of this country?
Some conservatives are skeptical of the president wading into a deeper conflict. But most Republicans give deference to President Trump, allowing him to act.
That's Fox's Chad Pergam at the Capitol. In the Senate next hour, the first Republican-led hearing into President Biden's mental fitness while in office and if his administration covered up a cognitive decline. Senate Republicans have made some changes to the House-passed Big Beautiful Bill that funds President Trump's agenda, including extending tax cuts set to expire. But some House Republicans don't like the changes. Congressman Mike Lawler tells Fox Business he cannot support undoing the increase in the House version to state and local tax deductions for taxpayers.
This is an important component to the deal, and my colleagues, whether they like it or not, have to accept it.
He says if the increase is removed, he'll vote against the whole bill. America's listening to Fox News.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 9:03. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. A woman has died following a crash in the town of Salina. According to New York State police, officers were called to Factory and Lemoyne Avenue for a reported truck versus motorcycle collision involving 3 individuals. Police said 67-year-old Ricky Belcamino of Syracuse ran a red light and struck a motorcycle driven by 35-year-old Michael Lembo of Syracuse. His passenger, 23-year-old Rebecca Woodcock, was ejected and struck a stopped vehicle. She later died from her injuries at Upstate Hospital. Belcamino was ticketed for failure to obey a traffic control device. The State Attorney General's office has launched a civil rights investigation into the Oswego County Sheriff's Department. The probe centers on immigration enforcement and moves the Sheriff's Office conducted with federal immigration officials that some say were racial profiling. Deputies were criticized for pulling over Hispanic drivers for minor violations and handing them over over to Border Patrol agents. The sheriff's office says it'll turn over all requested documents. An e-bike caused a house fire in Utica. According to the Utica Fire Department, the blaze broke out at a home on Waverly Place last night. Firefighters said they responded to the residence shortly after 7 p.m. and located the source of the fire, an e-bike in the living room. Authorities say the e-bike was charging when it overheated and started to burn. The fire jumped to surrounding objects by the time firefighters arrived. They were able to extinguish the blaze. No injuries were reported. And members of Congress on both sides of the aisle are looking to limit U.S. involvement in the Iran-Israel conflict. Democratic Senator Tim Kaine introduced legislation yesterday that aims to limit President Trump's war power. It would keep the president from being able to use military force in Iran without Congress authorizing it. Meanwhile, Republican Congressman Thomas Massie announced his plans to introduce a bipartisan war powers resolution today. In a post on X, Massie said, "This is not our war, but if it were, Congress must decide such matters according to our Constitution." Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez indicated she would support the resolution by responding to Massie's post saying she's signing on. Isolated showers today, high 84, and scattered showers tonight. Some thunder also possible, low 68. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
The 4th of July sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 with the largest selection in central New York. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. Hurry.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center, who are the members of IBW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome